Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We have Nitro here for the intro this time. Say hi, horse.
Hi.
He's just kind of here. But hey, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I see Blueprint is going to go eat dumbbells at the gym, which I respect. Hope you'll have had a good whatever. It's been like a month since I streamed last. So I mean, we got stuff to talk about. What instead of Cool Kid, he was called Freddy Fazbear instead of playing Warframe, went har 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 har. You know, that's true, Rose. That's true. Nitro doesn't respond to my pings and it makes me sad. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's because he hates you. He hates you. Sorry.
Where?
Occasionally, Genki will ping you with basically horse-related memes and Grattler gang.
I don't get those fucking pings for some reason. The fuck?
Lamau.
Oh, only at. Wait, I have only at mentions. The fuck?
Anyways.
That's weird.
So yeah, good morning, everyone. I think.
Babe, it's 1 a.m.
I said morbing with a B because it's always Morbin
my
time.
morning. Yeah.
It's always Morbin time. He was called Freak Kid instead of making Warframe videos. And streams he sucked toes. I'm gonna ban myself. Thank you, Phoenix. You really did not need to say that. Anyways, so since the last stream, quite a bit has happened, as you all might have noticed if you've played Warframe in the last fucking month. I will admit, but it was kind of a two-pronged thing. I wasn't streaming in part because I was working on stuff and I was busy in my personal life and things like that. And there was also the element of when Dante got nerfed, I did not want to stream because I did not want to put up with people's bullshit every 5 seconds. It will probably still get brought up, and I can talk about it at some point if people want me to, but the point I'm trying to make is that after Angel of the Zeraman, I do not trust the chat anymore, because that shit was miserable, and I don't want to deal with that again. So I decided to give it some time to roll over, get my video out and my thoughts out and things like that. I have some criticisms of it just early on that I do actually want to kind of address. Mostly because I feel like a lot of it's just me not making myself as clear as I thought I did, but even beyond that, let me get the audio for the game set up. I also just want to say that I will give brownie points. Oh shoot, wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Someone DM'd me asking for a primary blight. I didn't remember having this listed. What the fuck? Hold on. I thought I took that. I thought I took my listing down. Alright, guys. Minor fuck up. Minor fuck up. This is like the most inopportune time to DM me about this, unironically. We're just gonna close this unless
they were waiting.
They probably were. I'm just gonna go offline on Warframe.market. Okay.
Wait, you actually left yourself online for...
I forgot, because here's the thing. Not months. I listed this the other day, but I thought I had took the listing down. I didn't realize it was still up. I could have sworn I deleted it. Okay. Anyways, I have to get my audio pass-through thing set up. Okay. Thank you, Synthetic Menu Theme, for serving us well. So...
Hell yeah.
I just realized that my audio is still lower than normal, I think. Yeah. Okay, now that we're actually in the business. So, there's not a particular goal for today's stream. Let me get the horse in here, because he's going to be roped into our... Or I could... I guess it depends if I want to go straight into... I want to go straight into talking about stuff, or if I just want to... we'll just do stuff and go on about it. This is the spit show shit type of stream. So... Please shut the fuck up about that. Say that for Discord. I still don't get the meme. I still don't understand what any of that shit means. Nitro's gonna get roped alright. I mean, not live. All I'm saying is we say that Nitro lives in my basement, but that's kind of generous. It's more of a closet. It's more of a box. It's more of a kennel. I put the sheet over the kennel so he thinks it's bedtime. Anyways.
That's something we're gonna show Rose later. Well, not what you think, but like,
I was not lied to. I can confirm that. Don't worry. These streams normally get far more chaotic. Like, if you've seen any of my VODs, several of them have gotten far more chaotic. Like the foot build video. That entire stream was just a chaotic mess. This
It
should
also helps that
explain...
it's one.
Evelyn, this image you sent me to explain it is literally... Hold on, what's the resolution of this fucking... What the fuck? This is so small. This image is 250 by 200. I can't read this. What the fuck?
Oh, where?
Evelyn sent me a thing to explain this fucking, like, weird meme that I keep seeing propagated in my Discord, but the image is so low res I can't read it.
Here, fucking forward me that shit.
Riddle me this, Batman, why won't she love me? That reminds me of my favorite joke in any Badger video of all time, where fucking that one, I think it's like Thera is like impersonating Muscle Man, and fucking someone says to him, like, isn't Simple Controls just cheating? To which he just replies, you know who else got cheated on? And it is, I literally, when I visited Nitro a few months ago, we watched that in the hotel room, but I was literally crying, laughing, so we had to pause the video so I could gather myself. Anyways, that's more than I have legs. That is true. Okay. Anyways, let's if you want, we can just do stuff like generic Sanctum. You playing Warframe?
Depends who
No. Anyways, you know what? I'm going on Do Not... Sorry, person on Warframe Market. I'm really sorry you DM'd me 10 minutes ago and I never saw it. I'm going on Do Not Disturb. Anyways. Let's just pop over into the Sanctum. We can just do some stuff here while we talk about stuff. Do Clem mission, I think, because that will cry. It should be studied. So, something I guess I have several things I want to talk about in regards to, like, Deep Archimedia and stuff like that, because yeah, I haven't streamed since the edition of Deep Archimedia, which I will admit, I try not to laser focus on this topic in the video too much, but I have a lot of issues with Deep Archimedia, if I'm perfectly honest with you all. I think it has a lot of problems, and so I'll probably just kind of go over it as things come up, but I think you are a cool kid. Thank you very much, Deathscape. But I want to kind of bring up my criticisms of Deep Archimedia and its implementation, just kind of as we work through things. Oh, okay. I'm going to be honest, Evelyn, even now that it's higher resolution, I don't know what the fuck this means. I'm still confused. What do all these terms mean? This is like for exotic dog breeding, but I don't Hans, are you there?
Yeah.
So we have the thing queued, so I wasn't sure.
Normally it plays a sound.
What's the meme about? I don't even want to show it on screen. It's a family tree. Where do the terms come from? What does this mean? That's my thing. Like, I get that it's a family
terms
tree.
We're talking about here.
Here. I don't understand. Family wreath more. Like, well, I could gather that much. But, like, what the fuck is the... What do the terms mean? Those are the dog's names? What?
Yes.
I'm confused. Why would you name your dog something like IB's... I don't... E.T.? Am I tripping? This is a certified hash brown moment. It honestly is. It's... Yeah, I don't... Here, Phoenix, if you really want to see it. What they named the godforsaken flesh coffee tables. Me, son, or babe daughter.
This is unironically just fucking
Archimedia, different.
Kibble and
okay,
breeding.
So here's the thing. I pronounce it Deep Archimedia or Archimedia or whatever I want to annoy people. It's the same as Gara versus Gara. I just think it's kind of funny.
Gara.
But in regards to it, so here, while we're getting stuff going, I kind of want to just outline some issues I have. I feel like with the way this game mode is set up, the issues I take with it, I feel like there are a lot of ideas in there that are honestly really fun and really interesting, But at the same time, Lloyd, would you shut the fuck up? There are some things that I just think are lazy and not fun. So, like, for example, well, if you've watched the recent video, and if you haven't, you should, because I'm going to talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
Bolstered belligerence is completely unfair and should not be in the game. Glyph inflation, Evelyn, don't say anything, which is where you have to take twice as many of the security, like, glyphs, is honestly just lazy. I don't feel like this is, like, some of them are genuinely creative and kind of interesting. This one is just lazy, to me. Hostile support's kind of neat, where it's like necromech spawned every 90 seconds that will drop life support. I think they're kind of overpowered in the concept of Archimedia, to be honest. They are really, really annoying to kill. But, at the same time, I think this is like, even if I feel like mechs have problems, mostly the fact that they're just, it's impossible to make them weaker, it feels like at times. This still is an interesting idea. I actually also think Vampiric Liminus is a fun idea. I just wish they weren't... I feel like they are kind of too annoying in certain game modes. Like Mirror Defense, they will not leave you alone.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Post-mortal surges sucks ass because they spawn the thing inside of you, so you will constantly self-stagger with, like, certain incarnans. That's super cringe. Myopic Munitions I actually think is fine. When it comes to these modifiers, some of them are fine. Not this one. I am surprised, and I know people in my chat are going to disagree with me on this on some level. I personally think that completely removing your ability to use your operator is extremely heavy-handed and should not be in the game. And a lot of people will tell me, well, I don't use my operator. What's your operator used for? And I've seen this a lot, because I've talked about this a lot, and several people have told me, well, I don't think that that's actually that big of a deal. The operator is a mechanic that, after Angels, got a lot more reason to use it. Sorry, every time I alt-tab to read chat, it just stops hovering it. So let me run over some of the things that it locks you out of using. You can't use Temporal Drag. You can't use Wellspring. You can't use Protective Sling. You can't use Guardian Shield. You can't use Power Transfer. You can't use Void Strike. You can't use Sling Strength. You can't use Poise. You can't use Unairu. With its Caustic Strike or its Shield Strip. You cannot use Last Gasp. You cannot wait out DOTs in Void mode. You cannot use Void Sling for mobility. You cannot enter Necromechs. This locks you out of so many things. And to the argument, well, this is endgame, I do not think that this is endgame is a viable argument to completely remove a major system randomly. My suggestion for this, personally, is I think that if you enter the operator, you should either have a limited amount of time you can spend in it, and then it goes on cooldown, or every time you enter it, you're forced to take a stack of transference static, regardless of if you die or not. And then maybe if you take, like, if you do die, you take, 2 transference stacks instead. But I personally think that in this context, completely removing a system that DE deliberately went out of their way to try and make more worth using is really confusing. It's kind of the same with, so like, ammo deficit is kind of a whatever to me. Abbreviated abilities being multiplicative is cringe. In my opinion, this should just be additive with mods. It would be easier to ignore, but this is such an oppressive modifier. And a big part of this, right? You might say, well, like, what does it matter? The main reason that this stuff matters is this. And I'll be honest with you all. This was a novel idea at first, but I kind of feel like the random loadout idea in this content is bad. And the reason I think that is because you are taking players and putting them in an environment where you have the hardest content possible, and you're not allowing them to use the builds that they deliberately min-maxed for that kind of content, if that makes sense. I feel like, and you could argue that if you were allowed to use whatever you want, it would be too easy again. But I think having it so that you have to pick a random, like in Circuit that made sense, because you had decrees to offset your Warframe's weaknesses. Here, you have to take on more weaknesses on top of the random element.
Plus, fun fact, you can get weapons you don't own or have.
Yeah, you can also get weapons you don't own. So I feel like, because technically each week, you can reach the max reward and forego one thing. So you can take all modifiers and then forego one of the random options, or you can forego one modifier but have to take all of the random options. So I'm just of the opinion, the random loadout system in this context doesn't really work, in my opinion. because I feel like you're taking players and putting them in an environment where you'd think they would be able to really stress test all of that work they put into, crafting their loadouts and stuff, and instead you're just massively handicapping them and then leaving it up to RNG if they can cope with those handicaps. Like, if you look at my lineup, every single frame in this lineup is massively hampered by abbreviated abilities. Every single frame I got needs their operator, in my opinion. You could probably argue that Valkyr maybe could get away with not using it, but I think Chroma and Varuna both would need it quite a bit, honestly. Now, that's probably just because of the way I play. Like, could I do this with Varuna and never enter my operator? Realistically, probably, because of the fact that I play with my operator so much. That's a mechanic I play around so much. I would struggle to not have access to it on those characters, but I could probably still do it. The thing is, I feel like this is just artificial difficulty, and I bring this up in the video, but to kind of expand on that, this is just removing options from me, and I don't feel like that's difficulty that's fun. Like, difficulty like hostile support, where I have to kill a big target, or one of my favorites so far was double demolishers, where you have to kill 2 half-health demolishers instead of just 1 demolisher. I actually really liked that modifier, because it added a fun spin on the game mode that had this, like, mad dash to make sure you could kill both of them. I soloed that one, and I thought it was actually really fun. And so I like difficulty like that, where it kind of turns things on their head. So, yes, I did get Latron and Angstrom. Funnily enough, the thing I didn't take this week was one of my frames. I took Styanax instead. I think it's kind of difficult to, and yeah, I think part of that, honestly, is that Warframe is a game where the power level is so strong you can't make, how do I put this? I think if the situation we're stuck in is that we have content that is cheesable, but requires some amount of mechanical difficulty generally, versus stuff like this, I guess it's weird, because there's some stuff in the game that I genuinely think is done in a way that isn't super cheesable. Like Exploiter Orb, for example, isn't particularly difficult, but it's not particularly cheesable either. And there's also, honestly, stuff in this, like, Culverin's arm weak spots I think is really awesome. I like having an enemy where I can blow off both their arms to insta-kill them. That's a cool idea.
Well, insta is relative
well,
time.
They explode after a few seconds, and some modifiers bug them out and they don't actually die. But I think that there are things in this game where you could add the, I feel like, how do I put this? I don't think it's impossible to make things in this game that are difficult because they were, like, demand. Like, for example, Double Demolisher, that was fun because it actually required me to, play the game in a very different way than I normally would, but not in a way that destroyed my kit. It was just a new way to think about the game mode. I think ultimately there are elements of this that do that. Like, for example, the boss fights. I think that all of the Fragmented are actually great bosses. They are relatively tanky, so you actually have to fight them, but they all have mechanics where they're clearly telegraphed. And I do like the fact that you can actually fight the boss like a boss, and not just, like Vor or something, where you just blow them up, wait for their invincibility phase, blow them up, stuff like that. Depending on the frame, being able to remove strength, depending on the frame. Something that honestly could be interesting, because I feel like, and yeah, the problem is not random loaded, is that content is directed towards high MR players that own mostly anything. The problem is there are some optional debuffs that are destructive to builds. Yeah, and the chat's going off because I mentioned Captain Vor. Anyways, I feel like at the same time, having content like this with randomness here still hurts. Trying to optimize things, and then, having this, like, tightly wound fun build you enjoy using. Like, in Netrocells, I can take whatever I want. Like, I played Vauban one week, and I didn't do great at the time because I was playing like an idiot, but I was allowed to. I feel like the random mechanic, I don't know. I feel like it's either have the random mechanic or have the optional debuffs, but not both, I guess. Because I feel like both means that you can get completely fucked over by RNG, and that's totally out of your control. Considering just the amount of random modifiers, I get the idea of having to, like, how do I put this? I get the idea of you have all these modifiers, and you have to be crafty about how you play around them. But some of the modifiers are just so unfair that I don't think that it's fun, because you can just purely at random get a combination that you can't work with. Like, let's be honest here, if I load in one week and I see that I have, like, Stug and, I don't know, fucking, like, Snipetron and Ghoul Saw, and those are my best options, I am fucked. I'm not winning. Artificial difficulty is the only type of difficulty there can be in Warframe's endgame. I honestly think that if that's the only way we can think about difficulty, then hard content doesn't belong in Warframe. Because if you're going to make it a slog, it's a... Like, honestly, I was excited for Deep Archimedia at first. I don't look forward to it. I genuinely think it's a slog, because I don't have fun doing it. I can't pick what I want. I'm stuck with a bunch of modifiers that make the game a chore to play. That's just my opinion. And a lot of people... Something I want to clarify. A lot of people straight up accuse me of just not wanting hard content or being bad at the game, just saying, like, it's supposed to be hard. And I want to make it clear that I'm not against hard content. I was excited for this because it was hard content. The problem is it's hard in a way that feels cheap half the time. There's been, like, another one I like, Alchemical Invulnerability, unless they stack up so much that you softlock yourself, is also one that I think has potential to be fun. Or, what else? I think there's one for the Assassinate where you fight 2 bosses. That sounds like it could be fun. We haven't gotten it yet, but that sounds like it could be fun. I think that there are options there where you can have fun difficulty that alters the game mode in a way like that. So, I think... And yeah, I agree with that. You can't play around Lock of Operator if you're just worse. CC is worse if Overguard protects everyone. There are a lot of scenarios, but like I said in the video even, Mirror Defense and all 3 frames I got relied on CC. Nezha, less than the other 2, but the way I beat that one was cheesing a minimum range limbo. That was all I could really do for that. Something else that I think could be cool, and this is going to be something that I feel like might be contentious. When this originally released, every single day at reset, your loadout would recycle. Now, this doesn't solve the problem, but I think it would be cool if once a day you got the option to refresh your options. Until RNG drops 0 amples of the needed element. I honestly think the biggest issue with it is straight up amphors don't drop often enough. So I think that would probably be the fix for issues with that. Also, welcome, SD. How is your voice not dead from all this ranting? I'm just used to it. For LR4 10-year veterans, that also is, I think, a thing that you can genuinely argue, because almost every time I public matched, every single person in my lobby has been above LR1. And is it really good for the game to only cater to, like, 1,000-hour players? Is, like, boneless 60 eyes? I honestly think that 60 eyes is easier. But that's just my opinion. But I do think, instead of resetting it daily forced, every day you should get, like, a token that you can use to refresh it. And I think that those should stack, so you don't have to log in every day to check it. But, like, every day after the Archimedia comes out, you get, like, a token you can use to reroll your options. I think that could be a cool way to alleviate the pressure. It's also honestly really, like, it's kind of lazy, I feel like, in terms of my issue with, I feel like the randomness kind of doesn't belong, period. But this is a way that if DE really wants to stick to their guns on its existence, it would make it less oppressive, because you can just re-roll it every day, and in the event you got nothing good. See you in the bot, have a nice stream, thanks for stopping by. Which bad effects you have not having to take all? You technically kind of can, but you can only, if you want the best rewards, you can only forego one optional thing, which is kind of restrictive. And had to play it with CC frames with diminished duration, which sucked. Yeah, I also think, because here's kind of the issue, right? If you don't play this balls-to-the-wall hard variant of Deep Archimedia, there isn't much of a reason to play it. Because other than the slightly boosted drop chance, you might as well do Netra cells. They're faster and they're easier. You get carried through bad builds and carry friends with bad builds after you're done, then it's notably better. I also feel like, just kind of on that topic, sometimes you just have to rely on someone being good, like just getting good RNG and getting a good frame. Like, if I'm playing a mission like this, if someone happens to get, like, Frost for the mobile defense, then we're set. Or, like, if someone happens to get Dante, just in general, versus if I had just the random element of someone did not get that character. It's shitty 50 Voss for an exclusive ship decor, yeah. So that's, I guess, with all of the stuff I've outlined so far, just talking about this game mode, I actually really like it in concept, and there are some modifiers that I think are fair, and exciting. Like, if you got OP weapons and Grams, you win is... I don't know if you type that in a way that I can interpret. Hold on. I'm assuming maybe you auto-corrected. I think what you're saying is if you get OP weapons and frames, you win. I think that's what you're saying, and your phone auto-corrected you. And I kind of agree. That it feels pretty reliant on RNG in that regard. And then be unable to kill it. Yeah, what are the rewards? This is basically just souped up Netra cells, where the Netra, you basically get reward tiers that guarantee or have higher chances for better items. It costs you 2 of your Netra cells, but you get 5 rewards in total. Or hella rely on randos? Yeah. Typically, I use my freebie slot on a frame, because sometimes it's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this lineup? Doable with movie loadout. I think... And no operator, our peak game design, deadass. I think, like I said, in the realm of... If we're going to have a fix to this that doesn't require like a major overhaul, if DE really wants to stick to this design philosophy, my opinion is just let us re-roll once a day what our loadout options are. I think that would not be perfect. Hell, I honestly think that we could probably do away with the system entirely. It wouldn't solve all the problems. Bolstered Belligerence needs to go. Coordinated Front needs to go. Those are just my opinions, but I do not think that those are modifiers that are fun or fair. But at the same time, if you want to take a route that I think would make Deep Archimedia way less frustrating, and at the same time not violate any of what it's currently doing, just let us re-roll once a day. Taking more time doing multiple marker. That was actually how I thought it was going to work at first. I thought it was going to be that your points would stack, so you could just repeatedly run easier Archimedias, or try and do it all at once. But I see what they were going for. Honestly, that could be a way to help it too. I just think that you could honestly argue that kind of diminishes the value of doing a difficult thing like this. Because I honestly think that Deep Archimedia should be hard. I just think that the way they're going about it being hard isn't fair or fun, and I dread doing it every week because I want the rewards, but I don't want to actually play it. And that's not the kind of reaction that I want to have when it comes to content in this game. Like, I don't look super forward to Netra cells and stuff because they're kind of boring, but they're not something I dread doing because they are actively headache material. Just made the mission time. That sounds like fun. Here. That didn't focus on damage and underframes would be more useful. It's funny because we actually do have one really major mode that doesn't focus on damage, Mirror Defense, and of the 3 times it's appeared, twice everyone has had Overguard. Or whatever, so giving everyone Overguard. I feel like that's my opinion. If they're going to make a Bolstered Belligerence a thing, just give enemies more health. Like, is that lazy? I mean, yes, but it's not this.
Yeah.
And then ask them to carry you. That's actually something I've done. Like, I've had weeks where I do my run with randoms or something, and then try to help Nitro through with my best possible gear. Because, like, I don't need to anymore. But it feels like shit to play through the mission. Yeah, like, my most hype thing for this update was Deep Archimedia. I was really excited to have at a higher level, more difficult piece of content. And the first week was fun. I actually enjoyed the first week of Deep Archimedia because none of the bullshit modifiers had stacked on top of each other yet. And then the second week,
we got, you know,
we got Mirror Defense Bolstered Belligerence, and my will to live vanished.
Yeah.
What unique and cool rewards are there to earn except for the melee arcanes? Melee Arcanes, the 2 legendary Melee Arcanes, and Archon Shards. This is honestly the prime way to get Archon Shards now. I hope in the future Archon Hunts are changed to make them more worth it. I feel like, are they still worth doing? Yes, but 1 shard of a guaranteed color I don't feel like justifies the half-hour time investment compared to a Netracell, which is 10 minutes. Hamis? Okay, someone's got it. Maybe they're just a Finnish person, actually. This is going to be a bit radical. My opinion for Archon Hunts, guarantee a Tau Forged. So every time you do them, you'll always get a Tau Forged, and then let us break Tau Forged shards back down into regular shards if that's not what you need. What the fuck? What is Lloyd doing?
Huh?
What was that? My stream was a bit behind there, I think.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck?
Huh? Anyways.
Oh, special move.
But I think... Before we get no operator, no shield, no cure. I'm pretty sure no shield is one of the possible modifiers.
Yes.
I'm reasonably certain, yeah, that is actually one of them.
And we've seen that one. And,
which is funny, because 500% increased shield recharge delay is also a modifier. Why the fuck not just have that? can lead to things either being comically easy or outright impossible. Yeah, and I also want to say, because that's something that happened on Reddit too with Netracell specifically. There was a post that I saw that made my blood fucking boil because people were talking about it in the Discord, because I don't browse our Warframe, that place fucking sucks. But someone posted a thing that said, during my Netracells this week, I got 3 Archon shards and one of them was Tau Forged. Why are we complaining about this again? And to that I say, just because you are lucky does not mean a system is fair.
I saw that fucking post. It is just like...
That's the thing. Statistically, you were within odds if you got 2 Archon shards a week. And that wasn't even guaranteed.
The top comment was the guy saying, "Well, cool. I haven't got a single fucking Archon shot in any."
I'm pretty sure Darth Muffin said it took him 5 weeks, 6 weeks for his first shard drop.
Yeah,
which is just like are fair and balanced, real.
And we were gonna have the mythical one until that fucking guy came in.
Yeah, until Etch ruined everything. 2 Taus.
Etch,
I actually got
some
something similar. It wasn't from one stage, but I got a Tau Forged Blue and a Tau Forged Orange back to back. But the thing the reason I'm bringing this up, I guess, is the rewards have been streamlined. I actually think Netracells are way more worth doing now, and I feel like that's kind of diminished the point of the Archon Hunt. So my suggestion is guarantee Tau Forged from the Archon Hunt, and then make it so we can do Coalescent and Ascendant Fusion backwards, so that if you get a Tau Forged and you're like, I don't want this, you can break it down into regular shards if you have more use for those. Do I expect them to do this? No, I don't. But that's just a thought I had, because I feel like the Archon Hunts being a single one, but the only guarantee is the color. I don't know. I'm not super nuts about that in terms of a time investment to reward calculation when you've got stuff like this. Who wouldn't want a Tau Forged? My reasoning for this is kind of, how do I put this? A Tau Forged, 1 Tau Forged, say ability strength, 15% ability strength. If I want to, I can slot that. But what if I have a frame where I want to slot more, like I have more space than that? 3 red shards is 30%. It takes up more space, but it's more effective. So if I don't want to use a Tau Forged on that because I want to fill out those slots better, I can just break it down. Or I can break it down and then turn them into other colors of shards. Like if I get a Tau Forged red, I can only make a Tau Forged purple or orange. I can't make any other, variant of that. So I need a Tau Forged of another color. With this system, I could break it down and then make those regular versions if that's what I have better use for. Like if there's a diminishing return on that. Tradable Archon shards, I don't entirely agree with the idea of making them tradable personally. I feel like that would kind of diminish their value to players personally, I guess. Part of the system is to use them to invest in characters you like the most up front, and then work your way through your catalog, I feel like. And being able to trade them kind of diminishes their value. It's kind of like a Diablo auction shop kind of problem, I feel like, where it would make the feeling of getting one a lot less impactful because I could just buy them from other people. In Taus into reds, if only. Like shapes and colors or something? Okay, sure. So Lloyd is not a circle. He's more of a cylinder, and then he has like a wider base.
He's a cylinder.
It's a cylinder. He's in the square hole. Anyways, we will put Lloyd in the square hole. I have 25 reds. Yeah, because you never use your Archon shards, Allie. You fucking frightened me. I saw you post that screenshot. We had like 30 of each. Lloyd is a bong. That Archon shards. Okay, this is another thing we can do. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping you waiting here, dear.
That's fine.
Something we'll talk about while we do a mission. So, you guys know Omnia Fissures were added, right? And Omnia Fissures roll in 3 specific areas. Either of the Conjunction Survival nodes, or the Zeraman and here. So, something I want to bring up is, does anyone else find it kind of sad that the Sanctum has an endgame activity, but the Zeraman doesn't? I don't expect this to happen. I don't even expect them to ever revisit the Zeraman. Personally, I really want them to add a Deep Archimedia-like activity, at least in terms of, like, reward, to the Zeraman. I think the Zeraman should also house an endgame mode. I don't think it should be done the same way, but, like, 3 missions that you have to run in sequence is a cool idea. And I think that the Zeraman... Zeraman has Cascade. I don't think Cascade by itself is endgame necessarily. It's very, very good for a lot of things, don't get me wrong. But I think that the idea, because like Cascade Omnia fishes are insanely profitable on a lot of fronts, but I think that having an endgame deep dive like activity there would be really cool. You know, let's do alchemy. Sure, I enjoy. There's an incursion here. Okay, fuck it, why not? Make it better and easier to get amps. Well, my suggestion for this is kind of... Okay, how do I put this? People are going to find this really weird, and I'm going to be honest, I don't like doing stuff like this that much, because I feel like it's so... It's an underdeveloped concept that requires a lot of original thought that I am not capable of. Here's my suggestion for this game mode. We have a new item that occupies the Archon Shard slot, but instead it allows you to take Incarnon-like perks on your Warframe. I don't think that these should be to the same level, right? But I think it would be cool if we could use stuff like that, where it's like, say, increased efficiency over so much armor and shit like that, you know what I mean? So, basically, instead of Archon Shards, you can take these, like, maybe we have, like, 3 different variants of them or something like that, right? And they have Incarnon-style upgrades that you can take, where if a condition is met, they give you a buff. I think that could be a really cool way to both introduce that kind of endgame to that environment and give us a new toy to mess around with in that regard. So, I mean, fortunately, I don't need many new toys. My favorite one's right here. Say hi. Sorry. Anyways. Where the fuck? Oh, you're over there.
Yeah.
Why is this one so far away from the spawn, by the way? So...
I don't know.
My thing, too, though, is I don't expect them to revisit the Zeramin anytime soon. It does not seem super high on the priority list. But, personally, I think that would be awesome. Okay. Don't be super surprised by this. Like Purple Shard melee crit? Yeah, basically, like Purple Shard melee crit boost. I think it might be a little bit more specific than that. Because or how do I put this? It would be that the frame itself gets the buff, not the weapon. So there is that distinction. Or not like a weapon. But I think that's kind of the idea I'm going for with that. Also, I just want to say that I genuinely, like, after playing with it more, I think that Valence Formation is probably my favorite augment in the entire game. This augment is super fun. The Lavos one, where using an ability gives the element to him. Oh, we even dropped an Amphor. What a nice guy. There's an Arcane here if you want it. So, with 700 meters between 2 conduits, Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell, yeah.
It's like that meme of the fucking car for like a grand that's all beat up. It just says Beats Walking. You should have bought that motherfucker.
No. I can remember that.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, they over-nerfed the shit out of it, to be honest, but they've scaled it back, and I think it's in an okay spot now. Extra punch with force.
Oh wait, they nerfed which one again? They scaled back?
That was when they nerfed Neja's augment, so that.
Oh, they did scale it back, didn't they?
They didn't undo the nerf, but they didn't make it nearly as heavy-handed. It went from 18 meters to 9 meters, and then they bumped it back up to 14.5 meters at base.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Fucking 9 meters.
You still have a reduction, but it's not literally half of your base range, which was really heavy-handed. So yeah, that's just kind of spitballing there. How much percent you get from an Amp, or is it just RNG? I think it's just pseudo-random, unfortunately. Typically, it doesn't take more than, like, 1 or 2 of difference, but yeah. I would have to look at the wiki or something, though. I don't know for sure. Yeah, that's just my spit. I haven't thought about the concept in depth, but I want the Zeramin, because I like the Zeramin a lot. I still will forever be Angel's hardest, die-hard defender. But even beyond that, I feel like it's just a cool location that has potential to have a cool endgame activity. I don't expect it to happen, at least not anytime soon. But it's like the Zeramin. Does anyone feel like the Zeramin was kind of dropped?
Yeah.
Like
that happens to a lot of content. There's the reason Content Island is the word for this game, I guess.
I mean, yeah, and I still feel like a Content Island is kind of an overused term, but the Zeramin was weird to me because a lot of the open worlds have gotten more than one supplementary update, I guess. Like, I thought about this the other day. The Zeramin is the only open world syndicate that only offers 1 Warframe. Every single other open world syndicate offers at least 2. So I just find it kind of weird that the Zeramin... Like, Echoes was a really good update, but after that, I feel like the Zeramin was just kind of almost completely abandoned. It was kind of dropped. Duviri has been kind of dropped, but it did get 2 supplementary updates. And I feel like, at least in that regard, it got a bit more attention than the Zeramin did. I don't know. I would love an update that goes back to the Zeramin and does that kind of stuff. But that's just me. Where is that?
Did they fix the fact that the holiday doesn't do like this fucking like his status screen and fucking mind controls himself? Did they change that?
I think that some of they've done a lot of changes to how he works, but I don't know about how the screen interacts that specifically.
Because he's still been my mind control for about. No, there he goes.
No, so there he goes. He set the laser and hit the gritty across the. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? I had to say it. He remembered. He was like, "Oh right."
He's like, "Oh shit, that's true." Jair Varuna is from Zariman. I'm gonna say that's a technicality. The reason I disagree is the node that you get the currency from is not on the Zariman. Really, they just chose Yanta as the vendor, but you don't actually have to do anything on the Zariman itself other than purchase the pieces from her. So I wouldn't personally argue she's from the
lucky, so...
Yeah, but like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Hell yeah, gas
Warframe Zero offers emotional baggage. That's true. Yeah, that's just, like I said, my personal concept. Give us, like, arcane adapter-esque things we can put in shard slots, and make that the reward from some quote-unquote endgame type game mode on the Zariman. That's kind of the end of that, I guess. I don't really have much more to say, because... two things. One, I don't have the concept super well fleshed out, and two, because there's no reason, because it's not going to happen, and even if it did, it would not be because I said so.
Corbin?
I'm on it.
Yeah, I swear to God, they made this fucking Lex beam like small, narrower for some reason. It just feels different, you know.
It feels wrong.
Kinda, yeah.
Wow, it's just like in. Never mind.
That's not what you said in Rim.
God damn it! We will not bring up the RimWorld incident. That was not canon. I did not consent to any of what happened in RimWorld. Got her in like 2 hours. I want to also just kind of reiterate with that WOD. Again, just because you're lucky doesn't necessarily mean the mission is fair. But in this particular instance, I do think Varuna's shop was much fairer than Citrine's. Dante's I don't think is terrible, but Varuna's shop was much more fair. Where the fuck did you come from? Excuse me? Okay, no, I'm not elaborating on the RimWorld incident. All I'm going to say is that my NPC and my brother's NPC made some very questionable decisions. And a lot of people did not like us for those decisions, including the IRL version of myself. Anyways. Oh, right, duh, I can't slow me, I'm using,
Anyways, hey, Biff.
Still haven't slept time since the... Yeah, fair enough. Stop edging us with potential DE. I feel like, I don't know, Warframe, and I don't want, okay, let me just say this. I know you didn't mean this way. Being compared to Brutalius is the greatest insult I have ever received in my life. I have considered a personal attack on my integrity as a person that has been said to me. I have nothing against Brutalius. I just think that by the time he was done with Warframe content, he was so jaded that things that he was complaining about, there was proof against. That was very easy to find. So, for example, he had a video where he said that DE thought that Steel Path was endgame. They literally said in the patch notes that it was not to be associated with the nebulous concept of endgame. That was just straight up not true. So, the coffin of Hayden Hunter? Shut the fuck up. Anyways. So, like, I don't have any disrespect towards Retalius, but I think by the time he left the scene, he had needed to be out of the scene for, like, a fucking year. Like, the game clearly was not fun and was grating on him. Oh, another mech. So,
babe, this is the mech area. You're gonna see mechs.
I know, but like, it's a mech factory. They're mechs.
Mechs.
To slot into shards and there's a bit of one. That honestly could be kind of interesting if you could earn in like a decree. Like, that's just kind of a neat idea. The idea of, like, maybe you earned a decree that you could take into any other mission, but you have, like, one decree slot. I do have concerns of that being just fuck busted with certain decrees. Like, for example, twofold torment would be that cannot make it into the rest of the goddamn game.
There's also the one where it's, like, every shot deals more damage or some shit.
But some of them, honestly, could be really interesting. I don't know. It's an underdeveloped concept, but it's got promise, I think. No, wait, we can leave. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the incursion is over.
We don't have to make two, do we?
Monster. The drink.
Monster. The car.
Also, Amphors scale with enemy level, so abuse them. Like, I abuse Nitro.
Usually, yeah.
Anyways. It's okay, guys. I can make beating my wife jokes. I mean, he looks enough like a girl. Okay, so... Affirmative. A vicious body, the churlish shatter. Can't melee
7 unboosted still essence, nice.
Yeah, that is kind of a pain.
Setbacks.
Stop. Persistent attrition. Yeah, oh, the fucking tinnitus be hitting, what the fuck? That's kind of a neat Inaros. Yeah, look at this. This guy's Inaros is cool. I like that. He's very similar to my Inaros, so I'm somewhat biased, but that's a cool Inaros. I am fond of mine as well. Use greedy. I thought I invented that joke. I don't know. I like my Inaros. He's one of the... I think he is the only mainline fashion of mine that's actually orange.
Same with both. I say that, but no.
Just gives you incarnate void metal aesthetics. That would be base. Lol get mini damage checked or be forced to face a boss. I honestly think, yeah, Eximus Culverin should not be able to summon mechs. I don't like that very much.
Come on.
Eximus Culverin is Eximus mechs.
The Seximus.
Seximus sex.
Holy shit. Oof. Real. Okay.
I just got hit with the fucking most copper, like the most like fucking dead staff and the most copper looking fucking Corvex.
I'm just as boring. I honestly think Inaros is more fun now. I think he's in a fine spot. He's not super like powerful. I did mention this in the pinned comment. This is something I didn't mention in the video when I should have. When I mentioned the part where I argue that Iurelli was the last really CC-focused frame, something I kind of neglected is that even though these elements to him are not new, Inaros did not lose his CC identity when he was reworked. And I think that is worth considering.
Has a CC identity?
3 of his 4 abilities CC enemies, yes.
Oh, yeah, no, fair.
So, something I should have mentioned that I just didn't think to, because I was like, oh, it's a rework, it hardly counts. But I should have at least brought it up. Inaros did not lose that part of his identity, and I think that's very much worth considering. Hydroid kind of did, but not really. He's more of a... He still has, like, area control. Like, that was always Hydroid's thing. So his area control isn't strictly CC now. But I think Inaros' CC identity did not get evaporated, and I think that's very important to note. Which Acolyte would you smash? None of them. Nitro was right there. Anyways. Yeah, I also have 2 greens. I have 2 greens, 2 blues, and an orange. Or a yellow. Seething and Sweeney right now. Pre-rework Grendel I never really liked, but that's a whole other... I've talked about that before, that I felt like pre-rework Grendel just wasn't fun or synergistic. I know some people are still miffed about his rework, like Sab liked old Grendel, but I think he's better off now from just a fun standpoint. You know what, here? Mindless content idea, dear. Mindless content idea. Molly, can I help you, you dumb bitch? Sorry, my dog is fucking shit up. What do you want from me? She's just staring at the wall.
What you see, girl?
She doesn't see hardly anything. She's fucking going blind. Could you not,
do
that? Molly, okay, my dog. So, for reference for everyone in chat, my dog is very small. She's like the size of a big cat, I guess. She's a pug, but she's like a third of the size of a normal pug. So, my dog has this funny habit where if she wants to, I don't know why she does this, she will walk up to me and just start stepping on my feet. She'll just walk over them back and forth. I don't know why she does it. I'll start petting her and she'll keep doing it. I don't know what she wants. Hydro should bark back to assert lack of dominance. He knows I'll use the shot collar. Okay. Get back in this lobby, Gord.
I never... Oh, right.
Pugs are just loaves of bread. In a sense, we actually, I jokingly call her meatloaf because she's roughly the size of a meatloaf. We're gonna do low effort content.
And then there was that one fucking time in once.
Yeah. When we were playing Watch Dogs, and we hacked someone's phone, and the text conversation just said "Meatloaf is in the fridge" as the first message with no further context, and I broke down laughing because it was just like, why did they put my dog in the fridge? And I think now in Nitro's Hummies, someone gets it.
Hell yeah.
Someone gets it. I think you're the first person that I've noticed, at least, that is not potentially finished that gets the joke.
What were you saying?
I thought you would call him something gay, like hot. Look, the gay things I call Nitro are not safe for YouTube. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, yeah, but Biff can say it. I can probably say that I was, you know, made in the merch or something.
No.
Fine.
Let's make sure that you're still there. Here's the thing. She can still see and she can still hear, just not super well. I think she does it. I don't know. Let me just put it that way. I don't know why she does it. I think in some way it's to get my attention, but even when she has it, she just does not care. She wants it even more. She doesn't do this to my brother. My brother Hunter, she'll just like sleep on her dog beds and stuff. I have a bunch of different beds for her to sleep on in here. She doesn't care. She'll just lay on my feet. We're endgame content. Yeah, you guys remember when sorties were split into seasons? You guys remember that?
Oh.
Sorties used to be split into seasons. And sorties would give you like season-specific rewards. And on top of that, certain weapons were exclusive to seasons, like wraith weapons that you get from invasions and stuff now were originally sortie weapons. Which is also fun, because you want to know what was one of the sortie rewards at the time? Nezha. So if you got him, every other season, you could still get Nezha parts that were completely worthless. So yeah, they made him, I believe he's clan tech now, and they, you know, made sorties not stupid. I don't know why I'm doing this way. I don't need to build up stacks of my thing for this. I started when Planes drops. I started in 2014 when the game was new on Xbox. Played for a few months, never really understood it. Like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't understand it. Took a break, came back to PC in 2016, and I have been playing a shit ton ever since.
I came in 2013, I played it all because it was one of the only good games, free games especially, that my actual fucking shitty fucking, you know, Best Buy fucking PC actually handle at 60 FPS, and it was like, God, this is great, and then I didn't understand it. I just liked it because it was a shooter that I could actually play at 60 FPS, and then, you know, I met you, and now it's just like, oh my God, I was so stupid.
This game is also just, because it's also like, if you played Warframe, Molly, what if I move? Okay, I swear, if I scoot backwards or anything, she will just walk back onto my feet. What do you want? I will put you on my lap and make you say hi to the stream chat, you fucking bitch. Anyways, something I kind of want to talk about in that regard. I feel like, because Warframe, when I played it, I had to use, like, actual Destiny-level cheese strats, because we were not nearly as powerful back then. This was, like, before Focus 1.0 type shit. Before the second operator. So, it's interesting because there was a period in time that few of us will remember because it has been so long ago, where Warframe was not a power fantasy game. And I feel like certain things try to chase that, but we're so powerful it doesn't really happen. But it's kind of interesting, because playing old Warframe was a very different experience than modern Warframe. Fossil-looking ass. Yeah, I'm basically turned into crude oil at this point. But I think it's interesting, because the game is, especially with, like... This is a thing that... I actually... Okay, the joke I made at the end of my current video about making a video about how stealth sucks was a half joke. But I might actually do it, because... Does anyone else find it a little bit strange that Warframe sticks to the ninjas play free tagline when this game has nothing to fucking do with ninjas at this point? Stealth is a playstyle that does not work in 90% of the game modes. I feel like the problem with stealth is I don't think there's a way to make it work. I think the game has just completely abandoned it. Like, CC, you can make some changes. Stealth is so... Like, what do you do to make stealth good in, like... defense? Nothing. You can't do anything to acknowledge that. Oh, my OBS... Wait, did we lose the stream for a second? Oh, I think the stream died for a second there. Sorry, I got a notification that my reconnection was successful. I think really... Oh, goddammit, I was reading. I feel like the fantasy of, like, sneaking around and killing enemies works in some game modes, and it's actually fun. Like, Spy and Exterminate and stuff like that. Those are fun. But I wish that it was something that, like, capture, you should be able to sneak up on targets, right? Stuff like that. A lot of
Lead
old
target
modes
TM.
do let you use it, but... And one of the big... I didn't mention this, but Overguard should not stop finisher damage. The only way that you can finisher an Eximus is if you hit them from stealth. You can't open them up to finishers with crowd control abilities. So why does it block finisher damage? It just punishes stealth. Like, Overguard is so powerful that in a lot of contexts, if you see an Eximus, you can't just, like, be rewarded for being sneaky with the ability to kill them, right? Like, in my view, if I see an Eximus enemy, I should be like, okay, cool, I'm in stealth, I can get rid of this enemy before a fight breaks out, so that I don't have to worry about them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that. If you finish them, you'll take half their Overguard at best, and then they'll just kill you.
Yeah.
Which Nitro would you smash? I don't know, the current one. The one that's right here. Maybe the one when I tie hip... Never mind. Avoid them like the plague. If you're doing stealth, unfortunately, yes, you just can't take them on. It's a special... I don't even think special... It's like you're a space god. Only joined the stream for the Hamit's epic Noita reference thumbnail. Thank you for getting the joke.
You've yet to play that game, haven't you?
I have played Noita a bit, but not that much. Do you continue to random? I feel like you're suspiciously horny in my chat, and it makes me a little bit concerned. I thought it was Atlas's gimmick, and you're kind of stepping on his toes. It was also Icy. I haven't seen Icy Pharaoh in ages. That was also Icy's gimmick. Other than, like, Icy would just straight up sexually harass me. I'm gonna be honest. Some of the shit he said was so fucking out of pocket. I should play Fear and Hunger 2. I've actually never even played the first one. I'll keep that in mind, I guess. Another Inaros. What the fuck?
Hi, yes.
If it's not a Tenno, eradicate it. Yo, racism. This is just like the Rwandan... Sorry.
Hell.
Okay.
Best genocide that totally didn't happen.
About harassment? Jesus. There will always be someone. Are you playing the Bionicle game when it comes out? Is there a new one? I actually played the one for the GameCube back in the day, and that shit actually rocked.
Okay, babe, I think we have both some belligerents on.
No, this is Eximus Stronghold.
Ah, okay, because the entire first thing was just covered in Eximus, and it's like, oh god, here it goes.
This one I don't think is as bad because the sorties are just easy. It's not good design. I mean, I mentioned this in the video. They're not good design, they're just not as suffocating.
Yeah. Unrelated, so I have to cut you off, but like, I don't like the fact that the 3 is its own ability now. It's just like...
I'm whatever about it. I feel like it is a little bit lacking in that regard, but I don't think it's the end of the world.
Would have had like a different ability, or at least keep it like that so I can have a fodder, you know, take off instead of fucking being forced to keep everything and I want the fucking full kit or some shit.
I don't know. I feel like in Warframe, helmeting something should be a tough choice, and on a lot of frames it isn't. So, I personally think that I was a little confused by it, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm using my armor streams that I don't have armor. Hey, look, it's the funny Eximus. Okay, my Onos does not have the ability to ramp its damage against this guy.
Remind me what the fuck my 4 does again?
It shoots out little bugs that will start to crowd control enemies and rapidly corrosive proc them. Then enemies that are under the effect that die will spawn sand kitties that also spread the swarm.
And the fucking trick. Do I have to have like a fucking what's it? A fucking tornado like quick strip trick? Do you have to have like a fucking what's it?
You need the augment for it, elemental sandstorm, and corrosive on your melee weapon. You can basically stack the corrosive game that way. If you want to full strip, you need 2 green shards.
Gotcha. I was also thinking about the fucking what's it you call it, the augment for the electricity, whatever the fuck it's called.
Sand kitties. I think the sand kitties are more of like the plague bearer than the like an actual like thing, I guess. Got water? Welcome back.
Fucking, what the fuck is it called? You know the fucking what the fuck I'm talking about, that one thing that's really good on glaives and shit. The electric status spread shit.
Influence?
Do you need that as well, or does that just help?
But I don't personally use it. I actually, for a while, used exposure, which gives you corrosive damage for casting abilities.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I don't use that now because I wanted to use duplicate on Inadem, because Inadem gives you damage reduction on finishers in the Incarnate form. Which, on top of just having a bunch of finisher-based modifiers, right? Did you guys... Hold on. This will not make any sense. What do you mean recording has... What the fuck is going on with my...
Oh.
Can I have my audio back? Can I have my audio back? Okay.
No.
This is so strange. What did I do? Okay. I picked up my phone to check my chat, and I dropped it on my keyboard and hit like 18 different keys at once. I'm not entirely sure what I did, but I'm nervous. It's still recording. I said to stop. It's still... Okay, now it's on. So that was weird. Anyways, look behind you. I can assure you there is nothing behind me other than like there's a plush giraffe sitting in a chair, I guess. There's also the plush Nitro sitting on my bed.
Hi.
Yeah, that's actually him. Anyways, Nitro is not actually on his phone. Like, he's talking from over there in my room. Yummy. I eated them all. I parried that guy that used my one, and it looked like he was scooping up and just made me, like, blast him away with my one. Just, like, have at me.
Clip that, yeah.
Microphone, not camera. Definitely got him. No, I looked because I wanted to double check the position of the giraffe. He falls over sometimes. My old desk chair is just sitting over there. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Parry plus exploded. Deadass.
Plus exploded.
Plus exploded. Plus spring dongy loaded. Does the TTS read the spring dongy loaded bonus? Idan, do you know? Like, if you enable the style TTS, does it read spring dongy loaded? Base reveal when? It actually already accidentally happened.
I mean, we already have four-facing toolkit, so, like, you know.
Alright, I'm going to bust out the charts to answer your question, AK Dreamer. The reason that Hydroid gets more armor than Inaros is because Inaros has more health. So, how do I explain this? Damage reduction is... The more health you have, damage reduction becomes, I think, exponentially more effective. And Naros doesn't have that much base armor because he has so much base health that if he got the same amount as Hydroid, he would be ridiculously powerful. So, for example, armor scales linearly. So, every 300 armor is plus 100% more effective health, like Daz said. I brought this up on stream before. So, on a Hydroid, if my health is, say, 700, 300 armor is an effective health of 1400. If my Inaro's health is 6,000, 300 armor is 12,000 effective health. So, having access to those numbers of armor on Inaros would give him way more effective health than you would realize. So yeah, health scale, or armor and health scale linearly, but the two scale multiplicatively with each other. That's a good way to put it, Idan. So that's like why I mentioned this before. The difference between 90% difficult, or 90% damage reduction and 95% damage reduction is huge. It might only be 5%, but 95% DR is actually twice as effective as 90% DR. Because 90% DR, you're taking 1/10 of the damage. 95%, you're taking 1/20th of the damage. Which is important to consider. Oh, infested Alad V bow only. I actually... Okay, weird and obscure moment, chat. Weird and obscure moment. I think this still works. Weird and obscure moment.
Excellent armaments.
I'm a friend request.
Please return.
No funny note. That's kind of sad. I always like the funny notes. I want to hit the cap. There's a cap of 1,000 friends. We're roughly a quarter of the way there. And then my goal is to do a stream where I just purge everyone, unless they can defend themselves. Okay. Deacon is trying to gaslight me. Can you tell him to stop? Okay, thank you. I don't entirely agree that you need 3 billion effective health to be viable. To a point, you'll need that, like, a lot, but I think that for the most part, Inaros is, like, currently actually surprisingly hard to kill, even in, like, Steel Path content. These dumbbells need more salt? God damn. Also, you guys might have noticed, weird and obscure moment. Maybe we can clip this for a future episode. Crossbows count for bow-only modifiers, so Attica, Zuj, and Nagantaka can all be used.
Hell yeah.
Can you do a stream with Spike? I've actually brought up the idea and said he'd be down to do it sometime. We just haven't
hell
organized
yeah.
anything. Yep, see, Bo only sortie. Nitro's got Paris. I've got Nagasaka. Also, this is going to be a gamer moment. I'm very proud of the way my Garuda looks. I am being sucked into space. Bye, everyone. I am leaving.
No.
Oh, I'm stuck now. But I'm proud of the way my Garuda looks.
Oh, we
for
can't leave,
example.
damn.
Oh, yeah, that crossbows count for the fire rate mods. So, something I kind of want to mention is people didn't know that. I just think it's not necessarily intuitive. You have to consider Phoenix with Weird and Obscure. It isn't necessarily... I think a part of it is... Maybe it's mentioned in the description, or something I just didn't notice. But, like Tapato said with, like, wait, people didn't know that you take 200% more damage in the Void if you're in Tier 4. Where in the game does it tell you that? That's kind of my approach with a lot of this stuff, is basically that frame of mind, is where does the game tell you this information? Because if it doesn't, it's kind of unfair to assume everyone knows it.
Wait, no, you can jump. You can...
Yeah, well, the game teaches you that.
Actually, the new tutorial actually probably tells you, so I mean, like, you know.
Once. Thank you.
Yeah. I had this clip into the fucking wall there, just, you know.
The Void, okay, this is actually in an episode of Weird and Obscure stuff, but yes, if you're in the Tier 4 Void, so any Void missions branching off of Sedna, all enemies deal 200% more damage. When
Yeah, what the
Tapato
fuck?
brought that
I would
up,
have never thought about
Tapato
that.
said that they thought that was common knowledge. I didn't even know that.
No?
Because the game does not tell you that anywhere, but I tested it, and it's true. Also, not having my talents makes me feel so naked, but this brings up an important point.
Please.
Let us hide them when holstered.
God, please.
Certain weapon types, namely the Grimoire, you cannot see with your
The
talons.
spears.
Yeah.
A lot of assault
and the
rifles and
spears.
shotguns, yeah.
You should be able to hide your talons while holstered, in my opinion, so that they don't block your vision. She doesn't look as pretty without them, but it'd be a huge functionality.
Honestly, I think she does. She looks fine even without them, honestly.
Alternate solution? Just hide them when you're in ADS. That could also
That too.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so every single hit he takes is a guaranteed slash proc. And then we're going to hit him with this giant blood ball that makes him take 1 billion damage. Okay, the slash is going to expire before that actually takes effect because he's super slowed by my balloon. Let me turn that off.
Right, my sporties. I'll go. I'll move. Yeah, it's from last time this guy came up in the story.
Check this. Massive procs from Scholar Hominis Fiori on this one. If he would actually focus the fucking boss. Baruch sucks. Where are you? I have a question for you, Zender. Is this one of those, haha, don't tell the devs that they're actually good, or do you genuinely hold that opinion? Because I don't think I've ever disagreed with a take in my chat more than that. I would argue Baruch is a top tier
taking you straight. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe if you're not gay, Baruch has less appeal. But I think Baruch is extremely good. Excalibur isn't trash. I also honestly agree. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I also agree with that. I think Excalibur is better than people give him credit for. He just kind of struggles to survive, in my opinion. At least in like high level stuff. Shoot them before they shoot you. Simply didn't feel enjoyable at all. I think that. How do I put this? I guess that depends on the way you view the phrase Baruch sucks. If you think that Baruch sucks because they're unfun, that's an entirely subjective thing, and you're free to believe that. I don't think you're wrong, right? You can't have a wrong opinion. I think you can have a bad opinion,
I mean,
but whether or not
you can have a wrong opinion, honestly, though, so...
Well, I don't think that an opinion can be wrong, because by definition it is entirely subjective, but your opinion can be bad, as in, you are basically just believing shit for the wrong reason or making stuff up. Oh, well, reactor blueprint.
Hell yeah.
But I do think that it's just dependent on interpretation of that. If you think Baruch sucks because you find them unfun, that's completely fair because that's your subjective opinion. If your opinion is Baruch sucks because they are bad, as in they are statistically weak, I am completely at odds with that opinion. But I see the distinction. Let me put it that way. Can I have a wrong opinion in terms of taste? I think, can you have a bad opinion? Yes. You were supposed to think of me an idiot and call me a day. If you've noticed anything with the fact that I've been replying to like half of my comments on the most recent video, I try to actually engage in discussion with people. I don't think it's fair to just tell people that they're dumb unless they're really pushing my buttons. Because some shit is dumb. Like, I'll be honest with you. So, okay. Chat, I'm going to ask you all. There is a comment I received on the most recent video that actually pissed me off so much. I put it in the Discord to talk about how it was a perfect example of the kind of person I was criticizing in my section against the Warframe community. Here is my dilemma. Their name is censored. Their profile picture is censored. I still feel like it might be irresponsible of me to show the comment, because I want to dissect why I think it's a problem. But at the same time, people could easily find it, and I don't want people to go after them. So, I don't know what your thoughts are. At least I would like you to all pinky promise me if I do show it not to go harass this person, because they are entirely entitled to their opinion, even if I think they're completely wrong. Paraphrase it? I feel like it's hard to paraphrase. The reason is because there is an element of tone that is lost in paraphrasing. The tone of how he put his thing, of how he said things, is very important to the way that the comment went. The only solution I have is I could show the comment and delete it so that no one can go bother them, but I still feel like that's censorship. They're showing the TF2 sandwich video in the gym?
Huh?
Okay, here's how I'll put this. I'm going to show this, and I want to talk about it. If anyone replies to this comment mocking this person, I'm deleting it. And anyone who replies doing that, I am also banning from commenting. I'm just going to put my foot down on this now. Do not bother this person. I have their name censored. You could still, like, Control F the text to find them. If I see you bothering them, I am banning you from commenting on my channel. Do not bother this person. I think that their take is shallow and ill-informed, and I'm going to discuss why I feel that way. Do not bother them. Okay. With that out of the way, let me grab this image.
Oops.
Bye.
Sorry.
Here.
I'll put that on hold either way. Yeah.
Okay, you're already loaded in. Okay. So, let me grab this. I think I saved it to this folder. I just called this event post. Okay. So, I want to talk about this. So, okay. Show of hands, quote unquote. Should I change my name so people don't confuse me with the Warframe Atlas? I don't think it's necessary. You didn't censor the name in the last comment. Did I mess that up? Oh, duh, because I replied to them. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I posted this in Discord and didn't realize that. Let me fix that real quick. Thank you for pointing that out. I pulled the fucking Chimney Swift. You guys might hear a Windows noise when I do this. You're right. I didn't even think about that because I was kind of hastily doing it. Let me block this out so that people don't. Really? That's how you want to play selection tool? Okay. Fuck you. There we go. Okay, I do not think there is any mention of this person in this image anymore. So we'll go ahead and overwrite this and then we'll show it. Okay. Try not to witch hunt challenge. And yeah, like I said, do not bother this person. I think it is important to talk about it because I feel like this really proves my point about certain things. I just don't want people to bother them. So like I said, I feel like this is irresponsible of me, but at the same time, they did leave their comment on a public forum, like in a public space. So I just don't want to bring extra attention to it when I've gotten otherwise and get them bullied, because that's not the point of this. So don't bother this person. I will ban you from commenting on my channel if I see you do it. Anyways, this comment, and we're going to break down my thoughts about it. So, and I know this seems petty. I swear there's a point to this. So, this is the section that started. I interacted with this person purely out of curiosity. So they say, you don't understand CC. Despite what you claim, crowd control is currently in Warframe absolutely worthless. Look at Limbo, a frame so fucked over by one enemy it locks him out of fighting Corrupted or Corpus. To which I reply, please provide more examples than something that is both cherry-picked and that I acknowledge is unfair. Their reply is this. Please pick an example besides the best example. XD, okay, the whole point of Banshee's silence is to disable enemy abilities. Guess what Overguard blocks? Loki, the CC frame, has fallen into disrepair with his invisibility remaining his only admirable ability. Nyx can be reduced to a goddamn status effect. You have to understand, in your average exterminate, CC isn't a problem because CC shouldn't be used in those missions, DPS should. But survival's defense, CC is supposed to help you last, but the more you go on in these missions, the more overguarded enemies that spawn, until that's all you see. So yeah, I agree with Trib 100% here. CC is completely broken at the moment. To which I reply, Limbo is not the best example. He is an outlier who the devs have treated harshly or heavy-handedly for years. Not all frames that have CC are bad because Limbo has been treated harshly. Silence affects enemies through overguard. I tested this right before this comment, and as of version 35.5.7, this is still the case. It is noted as a deliberate design choice in the Angels patch notes, so I do not expect this to change. Please illustrate how Loki and Nyx have nothing going for them. Radial Disarm and Chaos are not amazing crowd control, but they do not do literally nothing, and other forms of CC they have, like Decoy and Mind Control, still have uses. Decoy now absorbs enemy health and is such a high threat level that enemies target it over literally anything else. Nyx's Chaos does this too, but Mind Control gives her a way to weaponize that effect. Even beyond that, Assimilate makes her max threat level and she becomes completely invincible. Overguarded enemies do not increase in spawns as missions progress. They are capped based on squad size. This is stated in the video. So, here's the reason I bring this up. You guys remember, for those of you who've seen the video, you guys remember how I said that I felt like a lot of people in the Warframe community default to groupthink, do not hear out other people's ideas, and do not genuinely try to argue their position. This is the... How do I put this? So, first thing, they spread massive amounts of misinformation twice in that comment. Silence not working through Overguard has never been the case. That has always worked the way it currently does. On top of that, also, I don't know if this guy ever followed up, because after I replied with that, he just never replied to it again. I can go look. I don't think he's replied with anything, but I might as well because, you know, why not? We'll go see just to see if he had anything to add to the discussion, but I don't think he did. Shut up, Windows. Okay, no, he did not. So I have nothing else to address in regards to this. So the silence thing is a big piece of misinformation. And also, saying that overguarded enemies can increase in spawns over time is also complete misinformation. It does not work that way, and it has not worked that way since Echoes of the Zariman. That got changed a long time ago. So, these things both could have been disproved with a single Google search or 5 minutes of testing. Also, in regards to Loki, damage decoy is actually very good, and decoy is... The fact that it scales off of enemy health is really good now, because enemies will actually attack it over literally anything, including defense objectives. If a decoy is active, it is the highest possible threat level an enemy can interpret things as. So, an amazing run with Loki and EDA stream not too long ago. Yeah, I did one with Limbo, for example. But when he was wrong, I mean, he did just stop replying, which I think is kind of funny, but... So, I want to talk about this for a specific reason. When I first saw this comment, before he replied, when I first just said, please give me an example that is not cherry-picked, because Limbo is the most extreme example you could pick in that scenario, I DM'd this to Phoenix and just said, how much do you want to bet this guy is mindlessly just subscribing to a misinterpreted version of Trib's video's opinion? And when he said at the end of his comment, I 100% agree with Trib, CC is currently dead. Not only did I just feel like, you know, ding ding ding, like no shit, he's outsourced his thinking, but that's also not what Trib actually argued.
Yeah.
Trib's video, like my video, but to a greater extent, Trib's video's title is Hyperbole. And that's to make it more attention-grabbing. Mine's the same way, on some level. I still genuinely think DE doesn't understand why Overguard was originally added at this point, because they clearly keep using it in the wrong places, but I feel like a lot of people, because when he brought up the thing about Limbo and nullifiers, I knew immediately that was a take from Trib's video, and I agree with that take. I agree with most of Trib's video. the point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of people that watched it do not understand hyperbole and are interpreting the title that CC is dead completely literally, which is not the point of the video. If you watch the video with any form of critical thinking engaged, Trib doesn't argue that CC is completely worthless, and I would honestly argue he goes into less detail than I do about CC's problems. Most of it is, most of his video is like split between CC and Loki, and his argument is that CC isn't as desirable as Damage. His argument is not that it's worthless. And that's part of why I bring up the direct comparison in my videos, because I feel like framing CC as a direct competitor to Damage is not the right way to think about it, and I wanted to kind of drive that idea home. But the point I'm trying to make here, I like Trib's video a lot. I really like Sab's video too, even though it's a lot shorter. I think they both had a lot of really good points. The thing is, a lot of people in the Warframe community, and just in general on the internet, if I'm honest, are entirely willing to completely outsource their thinking, and not, like I said, with the Silence Banshee thing in particular, that one pissed me off. Like, I'll be honest, I only engaged this comment because it was so outrageous and accusatory, I just wanted to see what this guy would say. Most other comments like that are negative in this vein, I have just not interacted with because it was not worth my time. But the thing with that, like I said, it is I know this because I read through a lot of Angels of the Zariman patch notes when making this video to find stuff about Overguard to support my point, right, to make my argument. It is stated in those patch notes that Silence being a counter to Eximus units is a deliberate design decision that is completely intentional. And I think that, you know, it has always worked this way. This has never been changed as far as I'm aware. It was changed for Thrax units, and the reason it was changed for Thrax units is it would soft lock them sometimes. They would get broken if they were under the effects of Silence because they wouldn't turn into their ghost correctly. So that did get changed. But especially because I feel like maybe I should have went into more examples, but I bring up things about CC being useful, like game modes that it's good for, things like grouping abilities. Like, sure, not all CC is created equally, and that's a totally fair... Some people did point that out, and I think that's a totally fair reply. Some CC might just need buffed, regardless of any changes. Like, Radial Disarm could probably do something else. I don't mean, like, remove the disarm, I mean add a new effect to it, or something like that. Like, I can see that, or, like, maybe Chaos can do some additional effect as well. I can see that. Some things on a case-by-case basis could actually be helpful, right? But in general, I still stand by my opinions that are expressed in that video. Or over-leveled missions they run. That could be part of it. But I'm kind of losing track of the point because I'm making so many different points, you know, and now... the thing I kind of want to talk about... Also, does anyone else find it weird that Radial Disarm kind of screws over Damage Decoy? That's just an aside. I just think that's weird. Anyways, personal opinion, if you cast Radial Disarm, it should just spread a bunch of status effects to enemies in the radius if it touches, like, Damage Decoy. Because if you remove all their guns, they have to walk up to the enemy and hit them to take the status effects, which... Yeah, it's weird. Can you tell me what to think at all times? Okay, so we found the bottom. Sorry, that was a bit out of pocket.
Yeah.
Anyways. Hey, Nitro, you ask me what you want, like what you should eat half the damn days, okay? I would say you have to own
that's
that.
my point.
I was gonna say, you have to own that label.
Fucking autism.
You have to own that label hard. Anyways, you have to own plenty of it. Sorry. Suffer from lack of utility creep. And I think that part of it, too, is that, yeah, certain things just require more utility. Someone suggested that Radial Disarm should armor strip. I don't know if that's the solution, but it is an idea. And I think stuff like that, Certified Lurker Mode with the :3, I tried that once and people were overwhelmingly against it, but sure. You know, fine. Certified Lurker Moment, fine. Is this a cute couple stream? As always. If you've been lurking, you haven't been talking in chat, you've been just hanging out, just to make sure you're alive, go ahead and type :3 in chat. I know several of you will resist this, but I just...
keyboard inverse keyboard.
Nitro was the
I don't know why it does
3.
this.
But just so I can know, unless they are pretty... Yeah, go figure, you would, Rose. Anyways, thank you all for the :3s. Nitro, can we get a good meow for the chat? Okay, thank you. So, anyways, let me just wrap this all up with that particular comment. Once again, do not fucking harass that person. I completely disagree with them, and I think that their comment is indicative of a lot of problems with the Warframe community's thought process at large. But even so, I think it's important to address because it is kind of a perfect example of everything that I was criticizing. The cuck apocalypse. Is Nitro your boyfriend or your cat? He's my boyfriend and my horse, but he's bilingual or bisexual, whatever they call it.
I meow because he won't.
Yeah. Why does Nitro meow so well? Practice. Anyway. So, I'm just going to say this to get on my soapbox again, which, okay, let me get through my point first. When you watch a video like mine, like Trib's, like Sab's, if you agree with every single thing they say, that is actually a bad thing, in my opinion. There should be at least something that gets your brain turning. If you watch a video and at face value just take everything, I think that's kind of an issue, because the truth is, a lot of us have ideas that did not consider, certain things and stuff like that. You had to switch to your rant, Sona. Not completely. Well, here's the thing. You could have a video that is so well made that you do agree with everything naturally. But let me put it this way. If you do that consistently, if you watch a video that's an opinion piece and you agree with it completely, constantly, that's kind of a cause for concern. What if I intentionally disagree with everything no matter what? Kind of based with the same problem fundamentally. Because, like, with that person's comment, once again, I have a lot of respect for Trib. I don't know the guy in person. I don't watch his content super often, but he's one of the... a lot of people agree he's one of the better Warframe creators around. Far better than I am, at the very least. So, the thing with that is that I feel like his opinion there was clearly, when he mentioned Trib by name and had regurgitated some points he had made in his video, was that he likes Trib as a content creator, and so he agrees with him to the most extreme extent possible. That's how I interpreted that interaction. And like I said, if you're the best Warframe content creator, I feel like you only said that because you want to sleep with me. Okay, that's a joke. So, yeah, you're wrong, buddy. Honestly, if you do that, that would be funny as fuck. Like, I'll be honest, if I see AK Dreamer commenting, "You're wrong, buddy," on all of my videos, I wouldn't even be mad, but it's a waste of time. Anyways, it's cool, Yippee. Yeah, we have a few fun ones. So
it's cool, Yippee. We got fucking,
I have a relationship already. Yeah, I was gonna say same. My sex slave, my boyfriend, is right here. And anyways, so sorry, I'm just rambling, but there's enough people here that I guess it's working. So I guess the way I want to put this, I try to do, and this is something I tried to drive home with the video, is I try to drive the point of examining developer intent when I talk about things. So if you encounter a thing that is weird to you, my first thing is try and think about the problem from that perspective. Why does this exist? What would make a developer put this here? You refuse with it meowing as your horse? Nitro, do it again, please. That's him. Anyways. So... where he plugs a vibrator up his ass. True. Makes CC work on them if they want to be considered actual threats. Yeah, and how is he so good? Once again, practice. A new brain assist required. There are no good content creators. Based as fuck. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I want to promote because that's part of why I'm engaging in a discussion like this. Atlas, I haven't seen your question. I'm sorry. Please repeat it. I'll keep an eye out for it. But
I meow too much. I blow up my fucking throat every other week, it seems.
Well, that's one of the things that damages your throat. Anyways,
yeah.
Should I? Okay, Alice, I'm gonna mute you for that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I am actually going to deliberately ignore your question now. Sorry. But just my motivation with a lot of the stuff and why I'm trying to engage in actual discussion, which is funny because like half the comments I feel like are not super great, but is because I want to promote that, like, let's rationally try and work through the problem, I guess. let's think about why would this be added? What was its intended effect? What's its practical effect? Why is there a disconnect between the two? How can we remedy that disconnect while not violating the intention of those things? So thank you for the 10 Zephyr. Just discovered your channel through the April Fool's video. Just hop over the stream after watching the latest video, and I have to say your content is awesome. Nice takes and enjoy the discussion. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. There's a bunch of random shit on my channel for you to watch if you want to. If I have to say anything to start with, if you want the quintessential Cool Kid experience, just start with Weird and Obscure Stuff Season 1.
Nah, but you gotta start fresh with the iceberg, baby. The iceberg.
Do not watch the iceberg. That video is aged like shit. Anyways, I don't know. Breaking Void Armageddon's turrets is a favorite of mine. The highest bullet jump is a favorite of mine. Making Dargan's overpowered. There's a lot of stuff on my channel that I think is more off the wall and fun. If you want to watch any of it, but self-promotion aside, you a normal donation. Real. Look, I appreciate these things. I want to make it known.
Getting done donation tunnel devil, and that's
okay, like most streams I do not get any donations, and that is totally fine. But I want to make it clear that I very much appreciate them. Like StarCraft's donation earlier as well, where they mentioned like the OP weapons thing, and how it feels like, you know, you have to rely on RNG to get OP stuff. Same with all the members. Anyone in this chat that has a cuck next to their name or a green name is based as fuck, because they're willing to, you know, put their money towards, you know, stuff like this. And that's like I mentioned this on a prior stream. I am getting super fucking sidetracked. More of the story, don't download your opinions from Reddit and content creators. Anyways, moving on, because I'm getting hung up on this. I had said in a prior video, or in a prior stream, that I was kind of against the idea of doing a Patreon or memberships because I didn't upload consistently enough that people would have a consistent return on that investment. Because I see stuff like that as an investment in my channel. If you're going to give me $5 a month, you expect something out of it. If I stop posting,
stocks.
if I don't post for 3 months, why the fuck would you keep giving me $5? I've wasted all of those months worth of money. I didn't do anything. So I wanted to be in a position where I could upload once a month at least to make that investment worth it to people that wanted to do it. It is still ultimately a donation to me. The perks are not worth the $5. You get videos a day early and shit like that. Like, let's be real here.
Nah, you get the cuck emojis. That's the best part.
I want to make it so that anyone who actually does decide to give me that money has some reward for it beyond just the donation of it. Give him money, your credit card info. Do not do that.
Yeah, that's when my card got, you know, locked up, seemingly.
If the membership was actually the reason that it got locked, I'm sorry, but that's also funny as fuck.
It was either that or actually, oh god, maybe it did.
I'm gonna say it might be.
Well, I don't know why I would have. Actually, what did I subscribe to that shit? I can go check, but like that'd be hilarious.
I don't think it was long enough. I don't think it's been a month.
Yeah, I think you should also be able to see what if I, you know, gave it to you as well.
I think you can also probably see if you look at your membership status on the channel.
No, I'll figure it out.
Anyways, is one of the few games other than Warframe that I had actually played. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up a tad. But yeah, the April Fool's, dude, I'm sorry that was your first video, because it's a lot of in-jokes and stuff. Can we do another would or would not? No.
Hey, you made like $250 last time you did. Remember that?
Real. It's not a free RP channel. It's called Clopping Dad. Every pony does it. I'm gonna get cut for saying that, but I know what kind of.
Wait, that wasn't Ponyfy?
No. Never mind. Are you giving up, Atlas? Oh, okay. How to quit Warframe? I'm really trying, but it won't stop. Here's my opinion on that. If you want to quit Warframe, but you're still having fun with the game, I don't think there's really a reason to quit. If you are finding that it is, like, financially destructive, then yeah, you should probably quit. But if you're playing and enjoying it, I don't necessarily think you should. Like, if you're playing it so much that it's detrimental to your real life or something, then yeah, you'll have to put checks in place for that. But if you're not enjoying the game, the truth is, find something else. A game that I highly suggest, because you can sink a lot of time into it, and it's super fun. Synthetic Legion Rising goes on sale for like $2 and I've sunk over 100 hours into that game easily. I recommend that. Helldivers is kind of a hot new thing. That game is also very fun, if a broken fucking mess half the time. So, like, just find another game to sink time into is kind of my thought. Aged and decayed for my very eyes. Fair enough. What do I do with them? If you have a copy of Terraria that you can't use, I just say give it to a friend that doesn't have it. It'll take over your life and wallet. Fair. When another Helldivers 2 stream? Probably not anytime soon. What do you think about Destiny 2? I played it up until Season of the Spicer, and I haven't touched it since. It was fun for what it was worth, but it felt like it was ringing me out. We play Warframe, that means nothing. You do not understand the kind of broken shit I'm talking about in Helldivers, okay? Let me say this. Is Warframe a broken game? Yes. 100%. But the amount of game-breaking shit you encounter in Helldivers is so fucking frustrating sometimes. I love Helldivers too. It's really fun. But there's sometimes where it's just like, I have to put the game down. It's pissing me off too much. Is fun if meant sunk cost fallacy? Yeah. U.S. Air Force K, chemical gay bomb. Why would I add more competition? No. As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, please do not. Yeah, fair. Any other game really? Okay, you know what, chat? We're gonna do a novel thing. I'm going to go through a list of games that I recommend right now. If you want to quit Warframe, here's a bunch of games I recommend. We'll go through my Steam library.
Destiny 2.
Die.
No. Yeah. Destiny
This is gonna
1,
be a
obviously.
weird one. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This game goes on sale for like $40 for its special edition. It has a ton of PvE content and zombies and native mod support. Really good time. What else?
Oh, Blade and Soul Street has the Warframe mod.
That's true. I'm not super huge into DRG, but Deep Rock Galactic is a good time sink if you click with the game. What else? I haven't played Factorio much, but if you're autistic, it'll probably work.
Unfortunately, I have the train autism, but unfortunately, I have the dumb autism.
I do not recommend For Honor. Ghost Recon Breakpoint actually kind of hits. This game is
It
actually
has modding
fun.
support now, apparently, because, you know, they stopped supporting it, but, like, you know.
Note, if you decide to play Ghost Recon Breakpoint, do not put your save in the first save slot. There is a bug where the game occasionally randomly deletes it. Anyways, Halo the Master Chief Collection. Often goes on sale for like $10. It's 6 games. Really good time and a lot of stuff to go through. Helldivers 2, which I've already mentioned. Hunt Showdown is fun if you're into like PvPvE extraction shooters. What else? Metroid Prime Trilogy I cannot legally recommend to people because there's no way to play the game legitimately anymore. For Honor is a good game. I don't think it's bad, but I don't play it that much anymore. Blasphemous, honestly, based take as well. I can't recommend Metroid Prime Trilogy because you can't play it
Synthetic.
I mentioned Synthetic earlier, dear.
Right.
No Man's Sky is fun. Project Zomboid is fun. Risk of Rain 2 is a really good time. It has a lot of really advanced mod support. I almost said Soulframe without realizing that you can't actually play that game publicly right now. Synthetic 1 and 2. Terraria with mods is a really fun time. Ultra Kill is one of my autism games. I love that shit. Highly recommend. Let me look in this folder. Cruelty Squad is a game I highly recommend. Like, if you're looking for more single-player experiences, Cruelty Squad I highly recommend. Broken Reality is a really fun time. It's a very chill game, but it's really fun.
Oh yeah, Barotrauma.
Barotrauma is honestly another good one, especially if you have friends to play it with. Dusk is a really fun game. Everhood is a fantastic game. You guys might be noticing a pattern here. Hypnospace Outlaw is, if you like games where you have to read a lot, is insanely good. What else? The Messenger is fantastic. I don't know how people don't talk about The Messenger more. This game is actually S tier. I love The Messenger.
Well, they fucking shot it, so that's why.
That's true. What else? Rivals of Ether. Rivals of Ether is really fun if you like fighting games, like platform fighters.
Cruelty Squad.
Babe, I mentioned that already too.
Right.
What's your divine light status? Severed. I am a flesh automaton powered by
Disco. However, pirate that unfortunately because ZA kicked out the creators.
Babe, you cannot advocate for piracy on my stream. In Minecraft. Anyway.
Yeah, basically.
I signal this. Fuck, Swanardi has been saying he wants to stream that game for me, and I keep forgetting. God damn it. Swan, if you're here, I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep blowing you off. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's my... never mind.
Yeah, that's Nitro's job. Anyway, BPM is another great game if you like roguelikes. And rhythm shooters. Metal Hellsinger in the same vein. No. Dying Light is a great game. Ghost Runner 1 and 2 are both great games. Katana Zero is a great game. Red Dead Redemption if you want to lose a billion hours of your life.
Wait, babe, I forgot. Fucking Sea of Thieves.
No. Another one that I want to mention. Okay, Cool Kid SMP, you say that. Modded Minecraft is unironically also a great way to take breaks from Warframe. Something else I want to mention, because it's literally in the fucking thumbnail. Noita is also a great game to sink time
Noita,
into
yes.
if you mesh with it. Way better than Hellsinger. I personally like them both a lot for different reasons. It depends on what you enjoy out of each game, honestly. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, that might be too base for my chat, honestly.
Honestly, Splinter Cell in general is a really good fucking series.
What's in the uncategorized folder? Five Nights at Floppa. Yes, play 5 this fucking... Yeah, okay. There's a lot of... Why is Empyrean Galactic Survival still in my... I still have this downloaded?
Huh?
Uninstall right now. Where is the uninstall button? I'm sorry, this game felt like shovelware. We're uninstalling it. Anyways. Shut up, Windows. I'm sorry, that was my computer.
Furry Girl.
You can't even purchase Furry Girl anymore.
Well, they're saying Furry Femboys 1 and 2.
Debatable. I've never played them. Why the fuck would Ukrainian Ball in Search of Gas? I'm not even going to bother clicking that link right now. I'm sorry. I think that's kind of it. Or just stuff at a glance. Yeah, Signalis is actually in my library. I just haven't played it yet. I didn't even realize I had bought this game. The fuck? Okay. Last weird one I want to mention. Spore. Spore is a very shallow experience compared to what was advertised. That game still lets you create some of the funniest, most fucked up shit ever. I actually have wanted to stream Spore, but apparently VTubers have colonized that space.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But I really want to stream Spore, because when I did my most recent playthrough, I was like breaking down laughing at some of the shit I was making. So, Elden Ring, I love you, Miyazaki. Shut the fuck up, I'm just kidding. Become a VTuber, Cool Kid. It's time. There is a Cool Kid VTuber arc. That's not what I'm trying to argue here, chat. I'm not arguing I should be given my Spode in bio. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. This is going in quotes instantly. Windows notification warning. This is going in quotes instantly. Spode in bio is the funniest thing I've read this fucking week. Holy shit. Oh my god. Literally just like fucking this like religion posting Spode in bio. Click here to get saved. It's like if you praise Spode, ignore if you're descended from worthless space slugs. Fucking Christ, dude. Spore shit posting is so funny to me because so much of it is so niche.
Oh yeah, there is a Cool Kid VTuber, you know.
Yes, dear, I know.
No, that's what Rose said. I
read that chat message already.
I forgot where I was too busy looking at Spode.
I'm beating you tonight. Anyways,
Oh yeah, what's it? Dead Cells.
Fair enough. I don't own Dead Cells, but actually, yeah, that's another very good game from what I've heard. You got to... I didn't even notice. Who the fuck sent me a friend request? Oh.
Give you access to my VTuber.
Sarah forced me to hate on broken chat. She told me hostage. Please send help. She's full stripping me into submission, and I can't fight back because she has pillage and rolling guard. How the fuck did you put pillage on Sarah? I guess it's ultimately her choice. Honestly, if the Saren was truly dominant, it would be condemned. Anyways. The finals also sucks. I haven't played the finals, but I've heard it's fun. I don't think I can top Keegan. Well, I mean, considering the kind of ways Keegan talks, I don't... Never mind.
What, like Keegan Church?
No. My Spode in bio. I'm Horse React. This has to get on the horse board. If you're in the Discord, go to quotes and Horse React that shit, please. This has to get to horse board. Anyways, I just see it start climbing, and yeah, I just see horse board now has... Okay, good. My Spode in bio. Is that another one? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, right.
Yes.
Valheim is a good one, too, I think. Never been able to get a long run going with friends, unfortunately, though. That's fair. I'm sorry my stream has once again become unhinged ranting instead of actually playing the fucking game, but this was called post-video chat stream, so no shit, this is what I was going to end up doing. Can you make a Chevenant video? No. Anyways.
So the horse was. I mean, I could do something really fucking funny right now.
No. No. Anyone who eggs him on, it's not going to work because Nitro has to listen to me because I own him. So, speaking of horses, though, my Dagath fashion is very controversial. Yeah, see, there he is. I just put these on here because I didn't know what to use. A lot of people don't like my Dagoth colors, which is fair. I just felt like it was a fun combination, but I feel like, yeah, you could argue that, yeah. I wanted to do something more pastel for a character, and I felt like Dagoth had like an interesting opportunity with the dual metallic to do it. Some people just think I should have done... Yes, it is called White Woman. What do you know about Fear and Hunger? Virtually nothing. But... Peg the Lynx, or whatever the mascot is. First of all, it's a caracal. Second of all, you think I'm the bottom? Listen to this motherfucker. He meows. See?
Tall is point players of well in...
That's not necessarily... Have you seen how small a pony is in, like... If you took My Little Pony ponies and, like, translated them to real life, right? Because the joke... The horse thing is because he's a brony. I think it'd probably be, like, what? 3.5 feet, 4 feet tall? Like...
You know, perfect dick. Never mind.
Babe. Anyways. Oh, wait. Hey, did you actually do it? I really fucking hope you did it, unironically. I'm looking. I really hope you actually left that comment. Yeah, you're wrong. There it is. Yeah, you're wrong, buddy. Fuck yes.
Boop.
Well, sorry, someone asked a question in the comments saying, what frame is that with a timestamp? I'm just going to reply. Limbo Prime with the Venari Alt helm. Or Tennogen helm, I should specify. Okay. My team never has to worry about Xmas. I always run silence. That doesn't solve the problem of Overguard, but thank you for your opinions. Okay. My forma in bio. Did you delete? What the fuck? Oh. Anyways. Here, let me put it in chat for you, Zephra. Caracal is spelled like this. Okay. Okay.
That didn't go out at all.
Unrelated tangent. Ranch Pringles go hard as fuck. Anyways. What are you asking me to do, Atlas? Chevenant video? No. Liam isn't even here to pressure me into it. You need your leader to rally a successful push against me.
And money.
That too, realistically. Never heard of one in my life. You know, fair enough. Also, yes, pizza Pringles are pretty good too. My favorite is probably ranch and like sour cream and onion, though. My pussy in profile picture? Fucking hell. Welcome back, Obama in bio. My you're wrong, buddy in bio. Who can eat my family? Chevenant in bio. The Chussy in bio, chat. The Chussy is in bio. Okay, in regards to the thing, first of all, VE does not listen to me. They have never directly replied to any attempts I have ever made to contact them. Beyond that, I have never heard of that Warframe concept. If you're in the Discord, please DM it to me if you have it on hand. We'll probably end at like the 2-hour-ish mark. I'm starting to lose my voice from all the talking. You can probably start to hear it, but I start to like have a... When I talk, you might notice that I occasionally like drop syllables. I don't know why I do that, but it gets worse the more I talk. So like a lot of my videos are way longer in recording sessions than they need to be, because I just keep noticing that I drop the syllable mid-word. I also talk way too fast, but that's besides the point. You still got the Wukong handshake patched? Wukong handshake still works. I'm pretty sure it was Drifter handshake that got patched. My Warframe is strong. Banger quote for real.
I love that I had one time where I fucking died. And it's just like, my Warframe is strong. And I guess I'm just dead on the floor.
Steve straight up said that he regretted that line, and Rebecca replied, "That's why they're keeping it in the game." Wukong. Okay. I would ask chat to rate the Wukong fit, but y'all hate me and prey on my downfall, so I'm actually not going to listen to any of you. Bro hoof brother. I'm not the brony.
Hell yeah.
He is, but at the same time,
hell yeah.
I will accept it. Yeah. You're making him hurt himself.
No, I just fucking... I was gonna say I fucking cloth in the... No, I...
What frame do you... What the fuck? Okay. I'm not going... ignoring that. Let's just go to the plains. Hang on. My bio in pussy. Wisp hooves, dead ass. So the funny thing is, they did clone something less ugly. It's just established in the lore that, the genes decayed over time. Okay. Wukong, hold still. Hold. Hold still. Hold still. Hold the fuck still. What are you doing? Wait, hold on. I have to... Hotkeyd? To what? What was that? Num 5, really? Interesting. Yep, see, this still works. You can still handshake Wukong. As Wukong. It was the fact that you could do it as your Drifter. If you timed it very precisely, which you can't anymore because it cancels the animation, you could start the handshake and then immediately enter your operator and handshake yourself.
This should be a passive thing that you can do with Umbra, honestly.
If only. Like, if you offered to handshake. Also, I'm going to rant about it again. Why did they take my Kavat's hair? Big Floppa's ear tufts are missing. His hair is missing. He looks like he's made of plastic. He's this fucking... Look at him. Look at him. He looks like a fucking Barbie doll. It upsets me so much. He used to look totally fine. And then they reworked Kubro for it. Never noticed that they accidentally took it off the cats. He's so shiny. His texture resolution is also so low. He doesn't look like a fucking cat.
He looks like a deer.
He's not big. Cool Kid action figure dead. This is my U2's collab. My Funko Pop. What the fuck is this shit?
Oh, but what about...
Huh?
Answer my question. What the fuck was it again?
My Excalibur in bio. Yeah, my fashion in bio, chat. I'll have to... You are forced to peep the Varuna. Or the Sevagoth, I guess. So this one I'm not as proud of. For extended periods of time. I'm sorry, you have to look at them. You good, dear?
No, I'm just reading the fucking question. Of course you'd be into that.
I don't answer that one. Well, I love Discord censors. It says, welcome. And then that's all I can see. My pronouns in bio. Dead ass. Anyways. I know I haven't played much of the game, but the title was kind of self-explanatory in that regard. I do want to address a few more things about the video before I go, though. One of the most insightful comments I received, and this kind of surprised me that this happened, was Nova Umbral. Nova Umbral commented that he felt like a big issue with crowd control is that game modes that are conducive to it do not feel like they are organically worth doing because they are so slow in compared to other game modes. So, like, for example, if you're farming relics, you're going to do capture missions. Or if you're going to actually open relics, you're going to do exterminate and rescue missions. So his idea was to make it so that you get more reward for doing the slower mission types to make them more competitive. Maybe like 2 rewards a rotation or something. You can find his comment if you want to read it, but I thought it was a very interesting idea and an angle I hadn't even considered. I do appreciate Nova very clearly has a pretty deep understanding of the game, and it was an angle I hadn't even considered. So I really appreciated that comment because it was very insightful, and I think he has a very, very valid point. We will not harass. We say I am talking positively of Nova because I generally respect him as a member of the community. I don't watch his content almost at all because I just don't watch that much in general for Warframe stuff. But he's a pretty well-respected dude for a reason. Let me put it that way. I don't expect that I am well-respected because I am obviously insane. Speaking of, multiple comments accused me of being ableist for making jokes about schizophrenia in my most recent video. I would like to clarify, that shit is a joke. Anyways, so another thing, some people have told me that the defense rework idea was just mirror defense. He said schizophrenia is a joke, real and true. But everyone like, well, this would just be mirror defense. If you made defense a time-based mode, it would just be mirror defense. And I want to clarify, not at all. Mirror defense still has collecting glyphs to heal the objective and spawning, reinforcements, which is not a thing in normal defense. You cannot heal mirror defense objectives unless you use the glyphs. So there is a parkour component that is completely missing from normal defense, and on top of that, you have to move between tiles, which adds variety but also adds downtime. So some people disagree with it pretty harshly in terms of my suggestions for defense. I still 100% stand by my opinion that I think defense should be a time-based mode. Some people suggested getting kills reduces the timer. I think that just creates the exact same problem of CC frames slowing the mission down. I think killing should not be required to progress the objective explicitly. Will you kill things so they don't kill the objective? Yes. But I think that having an incentive where killing things is just straight up faster than crowd controlling them would cause the same kind of issue. And that's why I personally shy away from it. Now, beyond that, several people offered the idea up of, well, maybe crowd control would have a reduced effect on Overguard. Not like duration, but like, say for example, paralyzing an enemy would instead be turned into a stun, or like a slow, sorry, something like that. My initial concern was that this didn't seem feasible, but someone rightfully pointed out that during Veilbreaker, they rebalanced ammo for every single gun in the game, and during Melee 2.9, they rebalanced the stats of every melee in the game. So, considering that, I don't think it is honestly a concern of feasibility, because truthfully, case by case, CC has a diminished effect but still kind of works, would be a great solution. I did not bring it up. I did not bring it up because I felt like it was something I hadn't fully developed my thoughts on, and I felt like it was also not feasible. But I think feasibility is not the question. So much as it's more DE has no incentive. Like with AoE weapons and the ammo changes, the incentive was that people were complaining that AoE was disruptive to their experience. Nobody is really complaining that crowd control is disruptive to their experience. And if I've learned anything from game developers, is that something being too weak that has the potential to be disruptive is often going to be left too weak. That we didn't yet. I'm not familiar with which one you're referring to. I might have to jog my memory on that. I do want to say, there is one major thing to consider with my proposed defense rework. You could just sit in the middle of the map with Gloom and Nova and literally never do anything, press, your 4. That's a genuine criticism of that strategy. If it was that easy, it could be super fucking boring. So, something you could do that I kind of think might be a fun idea is like boss waves. Like, maybe like Void Flood. You do have a beefy enemy you have to fight at the very end. Stuff like that. Because about blue wisp motes on defense. I guess that's true. But I'm sorry, I'm losing my thought track. The point I'm trying to make with that is if it was purely CC, compatible, it could be very stale. That's part of why Mirror Defense's parkour mechanic, I think, works relatively well. It's because it gives you an alternative objective. But what that alternative objective or incentive to actually play the game would be, I'm not entirely sure. I think you could do mini-bosses, or, like, maybe you could even have, like, a batch of Eximus units spawn, but on a measured timer so it's not being spammed. That could work. But doesn't have enough that separates it from Mirror Defense. I think the modes would still be distinct, but I still think that upon reflection, it still needs something else to make it not so boring and one note. And I think that something like having a boss appear at the end of each wave where you have to defend the objective from like a really tough enemy or something like that could help mix it up in that regard. I don't personally think that even in my current suggestion, it would just be mirror defense, but I do think that it would also not have that much that makes it interesting. So that would be my suggestion. Upon reflection, give defense a boss wave or something like that, to make it more, I say wave with air quotes, like once a wave, like once you reach like the last minute, for example, of a 5-minute session, so yeah, I can see that, like, keep 5 waves, making each one take a single minute regardless of killing. You could do something like that. But I think just ultimately, like, maybe, like, the last minute or so, you will just have, like, a high amount of, you know, mini-boss enemies, or even Eximus as long as it's a controlled quantity, so you're not being spammed, like, ever-loving fuck out of them. Stuff like that. Yeah, you're wrong, buddy. God damn it. But yeah, I feel like upon reflection, defense could use another little thing to make it more distinct and interesting. This is what the comments are referencing. Is it? I don't know. It's one of the things where, like, I didn't see it that way. It's such a common internet meme. I didn't even think of it that way. But it's a joke, and I feel like most people understood that. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up, I guess, because it kind of caught me off guard. Yeah, you're right, buddy. Good ending. Spawn 5 lynxes. Just have like 5 hyenas pull up. A jackal shows up right on top of the objective. I edged your... Shut the fuck up, Atlas. Trivializing schizophrenia? I mean, I guess I can see that. But I feel like the joke with like the voices told me to do it, and like common internet memes like that, like the voices and shit like that, or like I'm on my schizo arc. That was the kind of stuff I was referencing. I didn't know that people would find that offensive, because it's just normalized humor to me, but I won't debate this. It was a joke. I don't necessarily regret it. I was just caught off guard. I didn't mean to offend anyone, but I feel like it should have been obvious in context that I was not being serious.
Yeah, never mind.
Zip.
I can say
Zip. Yeah, you call out ending. Yeah, your buddy. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna have soft tacos until my fucking card got declined. Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'll fucking make that joke again. Like, I can see the interpretation, but if you have my personal opinion, have schizophrenia and we found it quite offensive. Honestly, I'm not even apologizing. Like, I think in context it was obviously a joke, and I didn't mean to offend anyone, but I feel like it should be relatively obvious, I guess. I don't know. That's just it just caught me off guard. I didn't interpret it that way. I didn't realize that anyone would see it that way, and I was appealing to a pretty common internet meme. But I don't necessarily think that it's this massive blight on the video that I did it, I guess. Let me put it that way. Was there more? Yes, there was more than one upset person. Not that many. There was like 3, but more than I expected. Apology I can get my dog. She's sleeping on the floor. I'll say yes, sir, when you least expect it. Kind of based.
Based.
Yeah.
Ears open.
Sleep.
I mean, he's all ears.
So I've heard. Anyhow, what else? There were some other things. The status reduction thing I talked about. This was a surprisingly common opinion. Several people said that overguard is not a problem at all. I was shocked with how common of an opinion this was. A lot of people argued because of difficulty and because it promotes teamwork. In my opinion, I don't know how the fuck bolstered belligerence promotes teamwork, but honestly, even beyond that, I still think that my argument is not to make the game easier. You know what I mean? My argument is to make it so that CC characters can do something. I don't want to make the game easier. I don't want to trivialize the game, and I don't necessarily think that mindful. I guess that's fair. I guess I don't really want to dwell on it too much, but I'm not arguing that CC needs to be buffed through the roof. I'm not arguing that teamwork, like, if you want my opinion, does making it so that you deal less damage to overguard, but CC abilities bolster the damage, is that not literally a pro teamwork mechanic? What frame in the game has 4, like, if we're going to stick with my cap of 4, what frame in the game has 4 strictly crowd control abilities on them, and a damage ability that could leverage that? Like, there are some that could do that. Like, for example, I mean, Excalibur could use, like, Radial Blind and shit, but I think, ultimately, they should make Overguard kill you based. I think that that is a relatively pro... Like, it doesn't make the game easier. It doesn't make it so you can't, that you can ignore the enemy. My entire goal is to make CC do something. That is the idea I'm putting forward. And I think a lot of people didn't understand that. My goal is not to make the game easier. It's to let characters that do CC stuff have a purpose in content where they currently don't do literally anything, which is just not fun. And that's the argument that maybe I should have driven that harder. My argument is more in favor of diversifying playstyles and having fun. I say that more than once, but I guess I don't drive it home hard enough, and I don't mean that in a way that's, like, demeaning or condescending. It just seems to be the truth of the matter, right? Several people misinterpreted that. And I guess I should have just made that clearer. With Underguard, weapons have lower health and take extra effects to cancel out. True. Once you break the reward, they just instantly die. What time is it for you? 3:41 a.m. Anyways. Banana, thank you, very cool. Where is Middleguard? I'm pretty sure that's Midgard is like a Lord of the Rings thing, right? Anyways, so what else? I don't want to go back to, like, referencing the video, but like I said, a lot of people were against my changes entirely and said the Overguard should not be changed. There were a lot of very radical ideas to change it as well that I feel like kind of still violated the intention. Like, a lot of people suggested that CC ability should deal a % damage of Overguard. I think that doesn't solve the problem, because if you spam CC with high cast speed, you'll just strip it anyways. Or if you have a full squad spamming it, right? I don't personally agree with that take, but I can see the rationale. I, for the most part, stand by my opinions. I think you could argue that I should have talked more in depth about the idea of making CC work with a diminished effect. That's a good idea and a possible solution that I did not really explore because I didn't think it was feasible or realistic. I still do not think it is realistic, but it is more feasible than I initially gave it credit for, and I want to, confess that. I should have brought up Inaros and him still having that CC identity to him. I should have brought up that corrupted healers do have some nuance because enemies normally stay near them deliberately because they're ranged, and that does increase their potency even if not by much. I should have brought up Terra shield drones on the Valets because those guys giving enemies nullifier bubbles is straight up cancer. I also should have brought up that I think that if you break a nullifier bubble, regardless of shooting the drone, it should never come back. That's kind of a hot take, but I think that if you break a nulli bubble, it should never come back.
Yeah.
Because it especially screws over characters like Vauban, where you break a nulli bubble, throw a vortex, pull in the nullifier, he frees everyone as soon as it comes back. Tuned in just to say Hamis, thank you. So you could do something like that. People suggested weak spots on Eximus units that you could shoot to kill Overguard faster. That could be a good option too. I was like, the drone, I agree it's really hard to hit, but it would also still have the benefit of you can still insta-kill it if you hit the drone, right? It's not even just permanently deactivating it, as you will immediately kill it if you hit the drone, which I still think is enough of an incentive to go for it. But also, the passive small bubble is a visual bug that has been in the game for like a year. As far as I'm aware, that bubble does not actually do anything. It is just a bug in the game that never got fixed, which horrifies me.
Wait, the huh?
If you break a nullifier's bubble, it looks like they've got a really tiny shield just around them. It's been a visual bug in the game for over a year. It's just never been fixed. I don't even know why. Like, how have they not noticed it? Do they not care? I have no idea. But I think that's kind of everything. I said, I want this to be an open discussion. That's kind of like that why I'm obsessively reading comments like a fucking dumbass, because half of them hurt my brain. But I want to try, because, like, here's the thing. That's a bug. It didn't always work like that. I am almost positive it's a bug. Majority of resources coming from... That's something that, like I said, Nova Umbral actually did argue that certain reward, or certain mission types that are CC emphasized aren't rewarding enough. And I actually agree. Something I did not explore at all that I should have explored in hindsight, and that I think is a very valid point, is that mission types that incentivize CC are not really incentivized to be done by the player, and you could increase the reason to actually do them. Can you explain your Overguard video in Fortnite terms? No. Anyways, it's helping you notice a nullifier. Maybe it is. I just find it to be confusing, honestly. If that was an intentional change to telegraph it more clearly, I don't agree that that's the way to do it, honestly, because it looks like they just still have a little bubble. Let's suffer the one status. Real and true. Stop. Atlas, what are you spamming me with this time? I don't have a fried chicken recipe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Go to fucking KFC like an... Well, yeah.
Or Popeyes or something. I can
I miss churches.
Fair. I miss the fact that after I left, I can't go to Chicken Express anymore.
Honestly, yeah, that shit was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll be taking job offers for my idea shortly, deadass. If enemies took 100% of the damage they take. Where's Family Guy? I can't concentrate. Okay, we've been alive for... Yeah, we'll go for, I don't know, a couple more minutes, and I mean that this time for once. Makes it hard to tell which is real or not. You dead ahead. Phoenix, goddamn, why'd you actually do it?
Well,
Since you work at EA, can you please delete region chat? People, same with like the thing I said with like streams, people would come into like my chat and post literally the particular incident that stuck in my mind the most was I had a time, I was doing the fishing stream. You guys remember the fishing stream when I was fishing for Gupalas in order to do fish Jenga? It was fishing. The whole stream was just me fishing. That was the only thing I did. Halfway through it, the stream was literally titled Fishing Stream. A guy joins my chat and in rapid succession copy-pastes 3 paragraphs telling me that I should boycott the update, that DE is stupid, that I'm part of the problem for playing the game, that I shouldn't give it publicity so it can die, all of this shit. And I'm sitting there like, I'm fishing. What are you doing? I'm not even playing the update content. My channel is about Warframe. What do you expect from me? So, in my view, rightfully, I muted them, and they called me a sheep, which I thought was funny. Once they came back to the chat, they were combative, but not nearly as brazen, and I think they realized that I was just not going to tolerate that. And the reason that I found that to be so frustrating is because multiple of the things that they said in those posts, or those paragraphs, were direct quotes from Reddit posts I had seen. And I knew that it was literally just the R Warframe list of demands. And my question is, what the fuck do you expect me to do about any of this? I make videos about the game. I don't work for DE. They don't even respond to me when I try to message them. Like, I can't do anything. You people on Twitter like Trib and Brozyme that can get full-on conversations with, you know, the lead game designer. I can't get him to answer a question about a thing he said on a dev stream that I just wanted clarification on. This isn't to knock Pablo necessarily. I'm sure he's a busy guy, but like, they don't listen to me. I have no pull with any of this. I genuinely think DE probably deliberately does not acknowledge my existence at this point. But can I have your home address? No.
I mean, I consider you pick a Biff's car.
No. Anyways, so that was just something I wanted to clarify. That particular incident has stuck in my mind very vividly ever since because it caught me so off guard and genuinely in the moment made me so mad. Because it was like, what are you doing? Too busy because I'm not sure I won't fuck them. I mean, that's true. Anyways. Well, it's hard to when you're tied up. What is your debit card PIN number? No.
I mean, mine's closed right now for some fucking reason, so I can
do not. Do not.
Okay.
I also would like to say, considering my video, if DE patches the game to bring back the high number of Eximus units in the Duviri Undercrop portals, I am actually going to flip my fucking shit. Anyways. In work IP address? No. Anyways. Is the weak link in terms of your sensitive information? Not necessarily. You'd be surprised. I've had people in my life that are willing to give away way too much personal shit way too easily.
Oh, yeah. I only give away for, like, you know, at least 4 digits of money, so...
I will fuck you. Anyway.
I mean, that's the idea.
I think the stream's gone on for long enough. I hope you enjoyed the incessant rambling cope session. Like I said, I want this to be an open discussion. I try to interact with my community as much as possible on that front. I want to talk about things with you guys. I do not want to live with the belief that all Warframe users are unreasonable and things like that. My chat at least gives me some hope because most of you are willing to actually engage in genuine discussion, and I want to promote that kind of mentality in the Warframe community because I genuinely think that while every gaming community suffers from this, it is so fucking bad in the Warframe community. One last thing, because I never brought it up. Dante's nerfs were justified and not that big of a deal. You can disagree with me on this. Functionally, all the nerf to tragedy did was make it so you can't steal your teammates' kills through walls in most cases. You already needed line of sight to apply his dark verse. Triumph giving you more overguard per second in exchange for giving you less in the initial cast makes it more unique, and I think makes the ability more fun and less brain dead. And genuinely, buffing his Word Warden was the most fucking base thing they could have done. I find Dante more fun post-nerf. I just want to get that out there because I know someone's going to ask eventually, and I want to make this clear. I think Dante is more fun and less brain dead post-nerf, and I think it was completely warranted. They fucked up the line of sight on release. Page Flight did not deserve to get nerfed on launch. Regardless of that, they have remedied those things mostly. They are still looking into changes for the next cert update to make crowd control even better. That subsumed Dante because of the nerf. That is insane. People subsumed Dante? He's still an S tier character easily. Page Fight got a big W. Already was decoy start level, so now that has extra status damage. Yeah. I know people talk about too much. Okay, yes. But I want to make this clear because I forgot about it earlier and I want to bring it up again. I just want to make that obvious. And like, this has actually had a lot of positive effects on the game at large in a weird cascading way. Like, overguard on people that don't have shields, if you apply it to them, can still benefit from rage. Chroma got a huge buff in that melee and ranged kills can charge his Vex armor, which is genuinely massive. Also, yes, Page Flight draws aggro, makes enemies take more status chance, and they take more damage from status effects. It's a very good ability. So is Word Warden now. Word Warden is 50% of Noctua's damage, and it charges the alt fire. I feel like Dante now is literally like, I'm casting my spells for my buffs. You know what I mean? If they buy him early, if they get matched with Dante players. I agree that early game Dante is really strong, but I think, like, late game, I find him more fun post-nerf. He is really easy to make really strong because range is his most strength is his most valuable stat by a disproportionate margin, but even so. I just saw your video and as someone who, I'm assuming your chat message got cut off. Wait to reply to Mr. or Mrs. or potentially non-binary individual sloth's message, if they still want to get their thought across. But I do want to end this stream shortly. I just got off on that side tangent there because I think, genuinely, people are going to call me a contrarian. You can fact check this. I said the night of the updates release when I streamed, I felt like Dante was too strong and deserved to be nerfed. I genuinely find him more fun post-nerf. Personally, I think it was justified. He was insanely good on release. He could level cap with 0 Forma, and I genuinely think that now he is a more enjoyable character because he is not so brain dead. That's just my opinion. You're free to disagree with it. People who are saying that Dante was nerfed into the ground, that is I'm sorry, I'm going to be aggressive about this. That is a dog shit take and completely not true. Please play the character post-nerf before establishing your opinion about what those nerfs did to him. Okay, anyways, if anyone has any final thoughts, you're going to have to make them known in the next 30 seconds. Because I'm probably going to get out of here. Can you make a video of you and Nitro making out? Probably not, but I appreciate the interest. Just hate nerfs no matter what. Okay. Fuck it. Another side tangent. I'm sorry. This has made me realize something else. Requires people to get off Reddit. Shower stream when? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're wrong, buddy. I do agree with all the thoughts in your video. And I mentioned this before, just for reference law. If you do have any disagreements, feel free to bring them up. I'm completely willing to talk about them with people. I'm trying to steelman my own arguments as much as possible and admit where I, had flawed logic. I want to see where he puts Dante's been vocally against the Dante nerfs. I'm shocked to hear that, honestly. Okay, one last thing. There is this mentality in the Warframe community that nothing should ever be nerfed. And I want to say that this is something that ultimately puts the community in this bizarre at odds with itself. Because what are the two things when it comes to the overarching climate of Warframe that players complain about the most? Nerfs and power creep. Do people not realize that if one exists, the other necessarily is going to become, like, how do I put this? If you don't nerf things, power creep is not going to be checked by anything. You can't genuinely make the argument that everything should be buffed into the top 1% because the game is already piss easy. Like, I think with this perspective, should things be nerfed often? No. Generally, I don't think so. But when you have stuff like Old Catch Moon, where in the top 2 MRs it was used 51% of the time, you cannot rationally argue every other secondary in the game should be buffed to that point. That's fucking nuts. Like, think about that. As if the game wouldn't be easy enough with Catch Moon's existence. Our solution isn't to dial back an obviously overtuned weapon, but to just make it so that every single thing is that good? I don't think that's the solution. Gonna play Tron Evolution? I should at some point. I have to figure out how to actually do it.
Honestly, hell yeah.
Low sets they're unworkable outright, and I agree that's also part of it. Power creep is kind of a two-pronged thing in that regard, because it is also that things get left behind over time, but I feel like that's more fixable than, I guess, like, seeing it was deliberately overpowered. Obviously just outpacing everything else in the game, and then being like, okay, no, buff everything else in the game to that point. I think you can argue, like, here's my opinion. Nerf way less than you buff, if you can. Generally, more things in the game deserve to be buffed than nerfed, and this goes for most games. But there are times where you have to knuckle down and just say, okay, the community's fucking wrong. This is too strong and needs nerfed. That was my opinion at the time with Catch Moon 2. You just have to look at it and say, okay, people are going to throw a bitch fit about this. It doesn't matter. It's better for the health of the game if we find a way to dial this back. People don't like their power being taken from them. That's completely true, and I understand that. But you can't viably buff everything to that level every single time. I also do think, if you're going to nerf stuff, space it out. Like, don't rub salt. Like, Dante also got nerfed alongside Archititron, which was just salt in the wound for people that liked that. Same with Neja. Like, those nerfs were all right at the same time. And that just made the update feel even worse. So I feel like if you are going to nerf stuff, pace it, gather feedback, things like that. So that's... And look, I know my chat generally agrees with me on things like this, because a lot of you people are more involved with the game and with, you know, me as a content creator and shit. But the Warframe community at large does not believe anything I'm saying, in my experience. I don't agree with you ever, based. Yeah, you're wrong, but I honestly am fine with that becoming a streaming just because it's funny. But I think don't put them in patch notes. Okay, you fucking Helldivers developer. What the fuck, Evelyn? But I had a good time. Also, thank you for stopping by. Thank you all for stopping by, obviously. It's been nice having you all. But I just want to make it, just to summarize, there are things where if they are an obvious statistical outlier that is so far above the pack in playtime, you cannot viably buff every other thing to them. You have to scale them back. It is bad for the game to make everything that strong. So that's just my opinion. Should we buff more than nerf? 110%. There's way more shit in this game that needs buffed compared to the stuff that needs nerfed. At the same time, sometimes it's necessary or the game is going to suffer for it. What the fuck do you mean bold words for someone in pissing range? What the fuck are you talking about, Evelyn? Back then, but worse. I don't know. Modding is an issue I will not even get into because it's so complicated, and mandatory mods is such a weird, complex problem. Also, Infinite Stun Rhino, if you want to send it to me on Discord, feel free. Come on, no, dog, hell, no, man, come on. Yeah. Yeah, your buddy kidnapping ending. Hey, that's on Nitro, and never mind.
Hey, yo.
Anyways, so... And also, I just want to say, yes, get good is not a valid response to genuine critiques about the game or its difficulty. Final footnote based on what was said there by Levy. A lot of people were just like, oh, you just want DPR immediately to be nerfed because it's supposed to be hard and you're too bad to do it. No, I want the difficulty to be fair and engaging, not bullshit. Anyways, those are just my thoughts about a bunch of random shit. The stream was probably just as incoherent as the actual video, if not far worse. But that's all I've got to say. You know, you can become a channel member if you like wasting money for no reason and watching videos a day early, like that fucking matters to anyone. You can watch other stream VODs in the VOD playlist, watch other stuff in the content playlist. I don't know, join the Discord. You gotta like, subscribe, ring the bell, look both ways before crossing the street, drunk drive, all of that good stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna go.